Yay! Welcome back to the Shady Harbour with me, Little Fox. That was a login error. Why was there a... What? But I launched it through Steam. What's going on? What's going on? Heck. Dating applications list. Okay, yes. Maybe it's like add-ons. Nope, add-ons are all up to date. Up to date. Oh, come on. Now work. Work, you fool. But yeah. Welcome back. Hi, hello. Yay! Logged on. Yay! I'm happy. I don't know, I'm in a good mood today. I don't know why. Yesterday was fucking awful. Had the worst experience with delivery driver support. So I was on a delivery. I was driving past a store, got a delivery request, accepted it, went to the store. The store told me that there was a glitch, must have been a glitch in the system because they hadn't even like accepted that order yet. And so like I went on to Uber support, or like driver support, right? On the live chat. And they told me that to just wait and complete the delivery because I would receive, like, I would be paid for the amount of time waiting. Which is weird because I've never heard of that before with this particular delivery service. I know that Menulog does, but this is the first I've ever heard of this, so I'm like, oh, cool, that's interesting. Tell me more. Tell me about how, like, what's the rate? And, like, when does it kick in? Like, what's this? And then they kind of, like, backtracked, started posting, like, copy-pasters, and then, like, ended the chat. And so I'm just, like, left in the car park, like, well, what do? Do I, like... I don't even know if I'm going to be paid for the amount of time I'm waiting, let alone how much it would be. Like, and then I contacted live chat again, and the same thing happened. So then I tried calling, like, phone support, which unfortunately, when you're on a job, it basically, an automated message says, oh, it looks like you're on a delivery. The best way to contact support is through the live chat option, and it hangs up. So I have to call through to the driver support, get through to that, ask them to then transfer me to the delivery support, and then, like, talk to them from there. She wasn't able to help. I know that, yeah, it's hard to, yeah, that sort of stuff is, it's just a whole thing. The entire thing, from accepting the request to actually delivering it, took me an hour because of this. And I ended up getting paid $18 for that entire hour. So this delivery driver service advertises its average driver earnings as on average $32 an hour. So yeah, I'm not happy. I've like raised the issue. I've requested that they contact me via phone today so that this issue can be escalated. Because damn, like that is some bullshit. And so yeah, and besides that, like that is so stressful for me, and it just makes me feel completely powerless, and just yeah, it makes me feel like shit.
I hear that.
So yeah, that was my day yesterday. But fuck them. I refused to let them, like, let that get me down, and I achieved what I wanted to achieve for the day despite that. It just took longer, and I'm just tired and worn out from it now. It's just really, really, really upsetting. Unfortunately. I've only got 11 iron hard. Okay. I'm already in doing the research. Just 10 hours worth of research away. Meh. Meh. Cool. So I'm trying to get a master writ on this character, by the way. That's why I'm grinding it. Nope, still not getting any, like, master writs. Hey, Happy Puritan. Huh? Mom. Isn't... What, Americans are weird spelling mum like that. Do you actually pronounce it like mom? Mom. 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 Yeah. Your last class with your favorite professor? Ooh! Bittersweet feelings of completion and also of, Ma! Ma! Yeah, I like Ma. Ma, that fucking cat is back! Yeah. We call him Mum with a U.
Pleased to see you in solitude, stranger.
Oh, jeez. Fenrir just hiding behind the wall there to piss me off. Okay. Yeah, like that. Mummy. I told my mum I love her this morning, so start off with a good day. Not mummy, but I have been called mum a lot, because of, like, how, like, not in, like, a sex way, but just, like, when, because I'm old and, like, I protect. Oh. Sorry, I just got the message, puppy. Ugh. I don't know, I don't get the whole, like, calling you a significant other. I mean, like, if you have kids, maybe. I'd call my significant other, like, daddy or mummy or whatever, like, for the kids, but not for the me. I don't understand it.
Hear ye, card sharps and collectors.
Oh my gosh,
Test
I
your
don't
wits
care
and
about
courage
your
in a brand new
about
card
testing my wits
Tales
or my
of
courage.
Tribute.
Go away. Anything to research? No, nothing to research. Heal. $84 and $79. Dram of Magica coming up. Whee! Yeah, mums are awesome. Dads are awesome when they're awesome. I'm sure that other people have good father figures. Yeah, I mean, like, I've got no shade. There's no shade from me against people who do that. It's just I don't understand it, like from a level that I can understand, I guess. Woof woof. Good boy. Stop citing Freud. Why do I call him Fraud? Probably because he's like, most of his stuff is like people have moved on from. It's kind of like how young Earth creationists always bring up friggin' what's his name? Oh, good boy. Good boy. Who's a good boy? I want a puppy so much. Oh. What was I saying? Like, so evolution. Who's the evolution guy they always bring up? I mean, like, I don't mind creationists. I just hate Young Earth creationists as an organization because they actively make children stupid. Yeah, Darwin. They bring up Darwin even though, like, people have moved on and built on his stuff. They like, oh look, Darwin said this, but he was wrong. It's just like, yeah, we've moved on from there. I mean, like, that's the thing though, like, you can't actually have groups. You can't separate groups from the organization, unfortunately. Not while we live in a system which encourages such negativity. It sucks, but yeah, it's not something that we can escape. I think it will. Well, according to their belief, I don't believe in hell necessarily. I think that the concept of hell doesn't make sense to me. Let's say that it doesn't make any sense to me as a concept. Like loving God, yeah, no. Wait, what? Your point is there isn't a single young Earth Yes, there is. Wait, do you not know about this? Oh, hello. I get to bring this up. This is what my nephew came home from school recently and told my dad that the world was 7-year-old nephew told my dad that the world is 6,000 years old. Oh, there are several young Earth creationist organizations. That's what you meant. Okay, cool. But yeah, like they actively lobby government, and like they lobbied government for the reversal of minority rights and also discrimination rights and all of that sort of stuff. They are awful organizations, every single one of them. That's why I hate young Earth creationists, because there is not an organization which doesn't seek to take my rights away from me and actively lobby the government to try and make that happen. So it's a very personal thing for me. Especially since they are involved with my nephew's education. That disturbs and worries me. I'm not saying, like, that I'm angry. I'm not angry at you. I'm just saying, like, if I seem angry, and, my nephew is at a private Christian school, which is funded 80% by public funds, which apparently is normal in Australia. So I would call it a public school with benefits. A public school that can do whatever the fuck it wants. It uses... yeah, it's pretty shit. I'm planning to go to the next parents-teachers organisation meeting and basically call them all apostates and blasphemers against God's creation for their blasphemy, really.
Hear ye, card sharps and collectors. Test your wits and courage in a brand new card game. Tales
To
of
deny
Trade.
evolution is to deny the creation of God. They are heretics. It is. It's blasphemy. They deny God's creation. It's absolutely blasphemy. It's one of the few blasphemous things that can actually be proven. If God created everything, God created evolution, and we know evolution exists. So if you deny evolution, you're denying part of the creation of God. You are a heretic and a blasphemer and a false prophet, and you should be made apostate from the church. Simple as that. It is absolutely a sin to preach a false... It's absolutely a sin to preach a false version of God's word. What are you talking about? Believing in Bigfoot isn't a sin, definitely, but if you started preaching that Bigfoot is the son of Jesus, that would be considered blasphemy and a sin. And you should be cut off from the church for that. According to, you know, established... yeah. And that's what I want to do. Like, I mean, it's tongue-in-cheek, obviously. Like, it's definitely a lot of hyperbole on my part to make those claims, but I definitely want to show up and cause a fucking ruckus. Because if you're going to not only teach incorrect history and incorrect science to my family, but also an incorrect and blasphemous version of Christianity to them, I am going to show up and have a problem. Oh, being a young Earth creationist is absolutely a sin, if you believe in that sort of thing. Like I've explained, you are literally believing something which can be provably is provably false, and you are preaching that to other people as part of your ministry. Yeah, maybe. I mean, like, I use hyperbole and to make a point. This is definitely the point I'm trying to make is much more important than the message. The point is to hopefully make people think about themselves But hello, Isham. Howdy. Am I a universalist? I'm not sure what that is. I call myself a anti-fundamentalist. Because that's the best way I've found to describe what I do, what I believe. Do I believe we'll be reconciled with God eventually? Yeah, sure. I think that's much more possible. The afterlife has never really been as important to me as what I do with the life I've been given. Fundies are getting a massive comeuppance on the internet? Ooh. I just use fundamentalism as a catch-all term, I guess. To include people who take the Bible literally. It wouldn't make sense for me to call myself an anti-literalist because less people would understand what I'm talking about.
Sharps and collectors, test your wits.
Whereas using anti-fundamentalist, people can kind of grasp what that means without having to ask as many questions. Besides, like, fundy as a term has been pretty well used. Ooh, I'm up to some long researchings. Catch-all for groups I don't like? No, catch-all term for people who take the Bible literally. That's specifically what I mean. Hey, Bunny Bee Lena. I'm well. Tired. Would I say that a Christian pacifist who says the Bible teaches extreme pacifism to be a fundy? It depends. No, like I would call someone who takes the teachings of the Bible absolutely literally and doesn't apply a critical lens to the Bible fundamentalist. Oh, thank you. Political fundamentalism would probably be, what's the latest Supreme Court judge in America? I would call them a political fundamentalist. Just in the way that they treat the Constitution in America with such, like, yeah, people who your clown friendos cursed your mind. Yeah, I am a good clown. I would be an amazing clown. Teehee. Yeah? It's also, as a person, not to use the word fundamentalist since fundamental. I mean, like, a shame, like, it's important to be able to understand the nuance behind words and the understanding behind them. Like, I understand that fundamentalism means more than I'm using it to mean, but more people will understand what I mean by using the term in the way that I do, which is the reason I use it. It's not useful outside of rhetoric in academia. Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree with that. Absolutely. Alright, so I've done as much as I possibly can with this character. I'll move on. Political fundamentalism in America is when the left does live shit and the right does hog shit. Yeah, I mean, like, it's usually the center that does live shit. I still stand by my opinion that conservatives are actually regressives and liberals are actually conservatives. Because of, like, the things that they serve to do. Like, liberals serve to retain the status quo, and conservatives serve to try and rewind, like, rights for people. Based liberals. Yeah, that's right. Happy Puritan, you're a liberal now. The most oppressed and hated group. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I have seen these conservatives. I don't know, most conservatives most people who call themselves conservatives are actually libs. Honestly. They just want things to stay as they are. Most people don't want change. Well, outside of America, liberals are conservatives, so it does work still with the rest of the world. Eyo, I win. Oh. Horny chat represent. I know. Wait, we're talking about someone using the word? Oh my gosh, by the way, Australia is so fucking racist, it doesn't even understand how racist it is. Let me give you an example of this. Okay? Check it out. When I post, when I find it, I'll excuse you? Ghost trying to undress me then. Alright, so I took this picture in Rockingham. Yeah, this is a chain restaurant. The original restaurant, the strap was just like pulling itself up. I'm like, excuse you? Yeah. No, that's not even it. So this is a chain, which started from a restaurant in Leaderville called Thug's Waffles and Fried Chicken. I shit you not. And there are now 2 more locations. They've changed it to Burgers and Fried Chicken. Oh my gosh, my phone fucking is crazy. I didn't think that it would, like, go in this much, but look. Yeah. 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 So, the owner is an Italian guy who almost got arrested for racketeering. Yeah. There's Ice Cube there as well. Ice Cube is in the background. See? Ice Cube. But, like, whoever drew these just made, like, them complete caricatures. Like, Tupac's lips, why? What? Who the fuck drew this? Has Eminem? Is that supposed to be Eminem? Oh fuck, that's why he doesn't have lips. Holy fuck. I think that's Kanye. No, that's Biggie, I think. Wait, who's that? Oh fuck. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. No! Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh. This is an advert for a restaurant in Arizona.
Anywhere around. Red velvet cake, banana pudding, so good. With 2 locations, we're in your hood. Famous Kool-Aid, sweetie insides around.
ain't your mama's chicken. It's better. Phoenix and Scottsdale, listen up. You gotta go to low. So good, so good, so good.
Eminem, Tupac, Ice Cube, B.I.G., Snoop Dogg. Oh, it was Lil Wayne. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's B.I.G. The owner is black, yeah. Well, this owner of, so, so this is the, yeah, they've changed it to burgers and fried chicken, but the original original place is fried chicken and waffles. But they called it thugs. Come on. Seriously, that's so fucking racist. Go away. I don't care. Just fucking go away. This is the owner. That guy. Like, this is like having but the fucking no, but it's not just about fried chicken waffles. It's calling it thugs. He's Italian. He's Italian. He's not black. He ain't black. Giovanni Pisano. He's an Italian. He's fucking Italian, and I refuse to call him black. DJ Khaled! DJ Waluigi! But yeah, here's some interesting factoids. WA foodie, cleared of extortion. Found guilty of assault. A Perth restaurateur between thugs, fried chicken and waffles has been found guilty of assault but acquitted over claims he threatened to destroy a man's cafe and put him in a coffin over some fruit and vegetables. Wait, Nazis got Hasnabi... What? Wait, Hasnabi got banned? Fucking hell. Pisano Enterprises owner Giovanni Pisano, 41, stood trial in the West Australian District Court this week, charged over an incident in July last year. But like, why? Like, how? Shit, am I in trouble? Cause like, fucking hell. I'm gonna have to create an alt. Damn. The jury found Pisano not guilty of extortion, but guilty of assault. What was the incident? So, Bistro 21 general manager Mario Giametti had claimed during the trial that Pisano visited his cafe with some other men and became agitated when he said he did not want Pisano to be his new fruit and vegetable supplier. Mr. Giametti testified that another man blocked him when he tried to go back inside until he agreed to walk with the men. He said Pisano squeezed hard on the muscle between his neck and shoulder, then later gripped his arm, causing a bruise. Pisano was also accused of threatening to put Mr. Giametti in a coffin and saying that he would destroy his business. Mr. Margeratic told the jury his client was a model citizen who had made a $2.5 million profit in the last year and had no reason to go after Giametti. Oh, fucking hell. Yeah. Well, I looked everywhere to try and figure out what the rules were around streaming that thing. Couldn't find anything. I couldn't find anything. Like, what would be... He'll be back up in like half a day because of like who he is, you know. Because it's probably an automatic one, you know, like enough people like spam it, they get fucked. Copyright for what? Oh, I know what that is. Oh, okay. Oh. Huh. The local streamer followed up by sharing the email. He also used it to throw a jab at McInnes. I don't really care about the drama, I care about the actual, like... Automated. It's an automated... Yeah, it was an automated ban, I think. 48 hour ban. Okay. But, like... From Censor TV. That's really interested. That's really interesting. So it was a personal takedown. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, there's 2 points in that video where there's copyrighted material, and also there's some like pictures of gore during the center part, so just be careful if you're going to stream it. Ketagini. You know, I should probably change this to just chatting. Considering, like, that's what we're doing right now. Alex Jones didn't like Hassan streaming him. Yeah, no, like, heavens forbid you, like, get some, like, friggin' exposure from one of the biggest streamers online. Bloody hell. What were people talking about, like, Hassan debating Kanye, like, yay? That would be, like, absolutely insane. The article said it's Kevin McInnes, could have been there for the founding of Vice, but Sarush and Shane thought he was too Nazi and kicked him out. Yeah. 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 Hey, hello. Gimme the sky shard. Alright. Well, let's move on to... Should parents ban topics from schools? What do you reckon? Rightoid. Yeah, definitely a leftist there. Yeah, very much. Alright. Alright. We're doing this. Just if anyone asks, I never streamed Alex Jones' Contact. I never watched it. John Boozman or Asa Hutchinson? No, I don't have serious thoughts because I don't know who they are, sorry. I don't know who they are. Sorry. Wait, why is... Wait. I'm so confused. Why is Hassan on the screen? This is Jubilee video. What? Wait, I'm so confused. I'm so confused. Does anybody else see this? This is the Jubilee video. Why is Hassan on the screen? I feel like I'm going crazy.
Bro, why'd they make this like Hans Zimmer Hey Hassan, we know you're going to react to this video.
Oh, okay, so that fucking makes sense. Okay. They're calling out fucking Hassan. Jubilee is fucking calling out Hassan. That's so fucking confusing to me. We were just talking about it, I'm like, is there something wrong with my computer? You hacked me, yeah. That was weird. That was weird. They trolled me, because I'm just like, there's something wrong with my fucking computer. Alright.
Bro, why'd they make this like Hans Zimmer
Hey Hassan,
Oh, yeah, I
we
saw
know you're going
that.
to react to this video, so we want to invite you to be in an episode of Middle Ground. Maybe a one-on-one discussion with someone like Ben Shapiro. So it would be great if you can announce your participation here first, and we can get Ben's attention. For now, enjoy the video.
Good luck. You are never, ever gonna get Ben Shapiro to debate fucking Hassan. No! Oh! Get no. Fuck Ben. No, he gives a shit about him. He's fucking destroyed already. He's been destroyed by his thing. Hassan versus fucking Steven Crowder. Get Steven Crowder to debate him. Get Steven Crowder to debate him. Get fucking Cold Feet Crowder in there. No, start the trend again. Hashtag Cold Feet Crowder. Never let him forget.
It sounds like what you're saying is
It's
you
not
want
gonna
to
happen. It
introduce
won't
all
happen.
ways of life.
Yes.
So would it be okay to include a book with a man having a relationship with a 12-year-old in that book? I know
See,
it's extreme.
that's- no.
Hold on, but just
No,
hear me out.
Because now
Hear
you're
me out.
equivocating gay people to pedophiles.
No. This is why I'm bringing it up. Is who establishes the boundary?
Whoa. Fucking not even 5 seconds into the actual video and we're talking about pedophiles. Okay, boys. Y'all Americans have way weird priorities when it comes to this, to like schooling and shit. Like, y'all need to worry about pedophiles and guns and shit. Like, why would anyone want to live in America when like when apparently like teachers are just like both like awesome and awful at the same time, and also are going to attack your kids, but also we should give the teachers guns to defend the kids against other kids. What is going on? Happy Puritan, when it comes to schools, I absolutely agree. Yeah, I am against young earth creationist groomers in my schools.
Teachers have their own political agendas.
No shit. Everyone, come on.
I think it's important to recognize that individuals will have political agendas. It's a natural thing, and people should understand their political views. I think
they got a ban.
where we need to differentiate it is whether a teacher should have a political agenda in a classroom.
But is your idea of a political agenda like these teachers telling students, this is who you should vote for, if you vote for these people, it's wrong.
Yes,
if you vote for
or
these people, it's right.
ridiculing the beliefs that they make.
Okay, like, alright, Americans, have your teachers ever told you who to vote for? Like, I'm talking about like high school, primary school, like, or grade school, whatever the fuck you call that shit. Not college or uni, but like in school.
They have for political or religious reasons, and using their position of authority to mold the minds of everyone else.
When it comes to diversity or these new sort of terms, I am not for certain types of what so-called diversity when it comes to these new kind of topics. And
Could you expand upon that? Like, what do you think
like
shouldn't be
critical
included?
race theory or gender.
Critical race theory is not what's being taught to kids. Critical race theory is being used to assess the curriculum for making things better for minority kids. There is a difference. Oh, hey. Carefree duck. We have the carefree duck. Nice.
ideologies. It's not diverse if you're the teacher, the person of authority in the classroom, and you are saying this is how something should be.
Yeah, so I come from an elementary perspective. I'm a first grade teacher, so the conversations we're having in class isn't about the socioeconomic nature of the world. But you know, we do talk about just what it looks like for different people in different communities. So when I talk about a political agenda, the agenda that I have in the classroom is to create.
But it just pisses me off that there's never any leftists on these shows talking about leftist issues.
Environment where folks are able to, you know, better understand from wherever someone's coming from.
The problem with that, and I understand the sentiment as a teacher, if a child is sitting there and they happen to be black, and you're saying, well, black people, such and such and such. I mean, you're.
That's not happening in classes. That's just not happening in classrooms. You can like fearmonger all you like, but that's just not happening in classrooms. I'm sure you'll be able to find like a anecdote or something, but at the end of the day, the majority of classrooms are just teaching kids like how to friggin' spell and shit. Oh, this Alit doesn't like me. But yeah, there's racist teachers, and there's also teachers that want to teach kids good things as well. And like, you might not like the good things that these teachers want to teach your kids, but like, suffer in your jocks, buddy, because we live in a society. And your kids need to interact with that society at the end of the day. And the community should definitely have a say in what your children are being taught. 100%. I don't give a fuck about your parents' rights when the same people that are crying over parents' rights are the same people who are trying to take rights away from trans parents.
Really, that's not
okay. I do have to stop you there because that's not really said. It's not said black people do this.
Well,
it's not said Mexicans do this. Again, it's trying to understand from multiple perspectives. That's not saying that every group aligns on the same thought. That's not saying every group is a monolith.
Yeah.
What it's saying is, even if you disagree with somebody or you come from a different tradition or a different cultural background, those people's opinions can still be valid.
Can the disagree step forward?
I'm gonna be honest, as a teacher, especially after COVID and all of that, I don't have time for a political agenda. I'm here trying.
Everyone's got a political agenda. Stop trying to like pretend as though things can be apolitical. If you have an opinion, that's political. You might not like that, but it's still political. The fact that you don't, the very fact, whenever you say I don't have time for a political agenda, that in itself is a political statement, right? You can pick that apart as a political statement quite easily, all right? Why don't you have much time with sorry, like let me restart that that quote so I.
Especially
As a teacher,
after COVID and all.
especially after COVID and all that. That is a political statement that you just made. Like, you can't escape from politics because politics is describing a whole huge, like, linked part of society. The way we interact with people in society is studied through politics and sociology. Like, this sort of stuff is inescapable. You can avoid getting into debates. That's about the best you can do with politics. You get annoyed with people like that, not imparting views on children. Oh, sorry, that one got pushed out of my screen. Oh my gosh. But the myth of neutrality is so yeah. There is no such thing as neutrality. Wait, what? Oh, they're just talking to each other. But yeah, neutrality doesn't exist.
All of
at the end
that,
of the
I
day.
don't have time for a political agenda. I'm here trying to catch up with curriculum, pick up my readers that are, 2-3 grade levels behind. I do not have time for that. I teach social emotional skills and all of that, but I'm not here to kind of, you need to believe this, and that. No. If you're a good person, we're good. We're gravy. all good. You know what I mean?
But your definition, and sometimes this can happen and it becomes political, is what is your definition of a good person? Would you think that I'm a good person because I'm raising my kids to be with Judeo-Christian values and they live in a heterosexual,
Well, if you're going to use the term Judeo-Christian values, I'm going to assume that you actually aren't a good person. Soz. That just tells me what kind of Christianity that you're most likely to ascribe to. So using the term Judeo-Christian values is a fucking huge red flag for any conversation. So yeah, I probably assume that you do have quite horrific views when it comes to Christianity. Pretty obvious, actually.
home where we talk about how divorce is wrong, cheating is wrong. We have friends of the LGBT community, but we teach our children that from a biblical perspective, that's not okay. Your definition of whether or not they are good could be very different than my definition of whether or not they are good.
Yeah, I know, and like so we come to a consensus of experts when coming to these decisions. We don't just like. Yes, truth is relative, but also, like, the society runs by understanding how things interact with each other and coming to a consensus about what provably can be studied. Twitch poked the American leftist hornets that Central Committee went live outside their streaming hours. Whoa. What? There's an American leftist hornets list? Central Committee went live. What's Central Committee?
Clarify, in my classroom, if they're kind and they're not bashing anybody, judging anybody, kind of throwing out names, anything like that, they're good. It's not to say that topics like that don't come up in class. And I do.
The conservatives are right about views being inherently in common with hold on to the neutrality myth of the. Well, yeah, that's what I said. That's why I call libs conservatives, because they just want to conserve the status quo and pretend that there's some sort of like neutrality that can be attained, which is just not. Conservatives or regressives, they do see that the views are in conflict, but they wish to force their views upon other people. Whereas people like me on the left want to create like a basically live through example and also just find like minds, I guess. Better at politics though, at least understanding the conflict-driven nature of it. Yeah. But they're just terrible at actually understanding consensus and science.
Open it up to discussion. I just keep it clear that this is a safe space. We don't judge each other. We're not going to bash each other. I understand you have your own experiences, but we're not going to come in with an agenda, you can say. And I feel like this idea of parents and their teachers of their political biases and all of this is just all of this fear that is clouding their judgment, clouding.
Except we have numerous, not just.
We have experiences.
Yeah, my own child, first week of school, what pronouns you wanted to go by. I mean, not what's your favorite subject, how can I help you succeed academic.
Yeah, that's basic. What's your name and pronouns? Like, takes 5 seconds. What? Why is that a problem? What?
Who's to say that wasn't a part of the questions too, you know? And I understand that question could stand out.
So maybe you don't understand that you're teaching politics.
But that's not politics.
What? Pronouns isn't politics. It's only political because, like, you've made it political. But, like, I guess it is political inherently as well, I suppose. That's what the sad thing about it is. It's like, it should just be an understanding of the way things work within society and how people interact with each other and how we know is a good way of interacting with each other. Your kid has pronouns, and we learn about pronouns in like, primary school. Yeah, no, like, it is political, yeah, like, that's just a knee-jerk reaction from me to, like, say, oh, it's not political, but I'm doing the lib thing. It is political, but it's not a fucking big deal. It's just not a big deal. It's just like, it's literally just grammar. You're teaching kids grammar. You're asking what their pronoun is. That's just respect. It's on the screen. It's the basic respect.
Yeah.
I think that's beautiful.
But it's not true.
That's beautiful.
Not
I think,
to me.
So I think you need your idea that
It doesn't have to be for you. It doesn't have to be like for you, but it's not attacking you to have respect for other people. What the fuck? Leftists might want to take care. It's nothing new. Nothing new or shame.
That's
Nothing new
basic
under the sun.
respect. What is the framework of that? Because I think that many teachers are going through these trainings, and the trainings are saying this is the framework of how we operate in the classroom.
Yeah.
But where did that idea come from?
Because it's based off. It's called a thing. It's called a thing called data.
Did you
so
do
a
that
lot
in
of, no, hold on. A lot
2010?
of schools have research and development, and so the state also does. So in the state of California, we do research. So at the end of the day, my job is not just to make your kid to feel comfortable. I got 55 students. I got to make 55 students feel comfortable. And so when your kid comes home and tells you, well, Mom, the teacher said, what's my pronouns? Yeah, I did say what's your pronoun. I also said, what's your favorite teacher?
No, it's conservative. It's liberal teachers versus conservative parents.
Show, what's your favorite food? I am a college professor now. I was previously a 3rd, 4th grade teacher. Teaching 3rd and 4th grade was horrible. Dealing with parents who thought their child was special and should be treated a certain way. It just wasn't doable. The constant complaining, the accusing people of doing things that are not going on in our classes, not being enough for their child, it was just too much. When parents don't have the knowledge of what goes on inside of a school, I think it's important for those parents to go to the school, and we as educators like our parents to be involved. You know, again, I have too many students to push an agenda. I do my job, what they pay me to do.
Again, though, that comes from a perspective. To conservative parents, it does feel like their views are being attacked. It's not valid. Their views aren't being attacked. At the end of the day, what's happening is that people who aren't them are getting respect, and they're taking that personally. At the end of the day, that's it. There's no real way to look at it other than that. At the end of the day, first speaking upon HRC and the secondly everything else now delivered and yeah, well, I mean, like, shame that's always been the case. We've always been banned for that. Musk doesn't, but like that's just normal. But yeah, yeah. Discussion about sexuality doesn't belong in schools. Oh my gosh. I need to run into the city and do my daily grind stuff.
I had a sex ed class when I was in 3rd grade, and it was quite simple. Boys go in this room, girls go in this room. They play a little video on a black and white TV.
That's fucking ridiculous. You shouldn't fucking separate kids when you're talking about this stuff. You shouldn't separate. Why are you separating kids when talking about women's bodies and men's bodies? Like, you should be able. This is why boys don't understand like basic things about women. Like, it's just this is frustrating for me. Yeah. Well, shame. This has happened before, and it'll happen again. It's like. It'll get worse. It's always gonna get worse, but like it's nothing new for Sanabi. This is his 4th time getting banned.
You know, you see the genitalia and you're like, oh God, I got one of those. Cool, now we're figuring out what I am. The fear is these schools have no boundaries. If they do the classroom thing where they want to split kids up, how many genders are we gonna do this? We're gonna put boys.
Why are you splitting up the kids? That's not a good way of teaching kids. You shouldn't teach kids like that. That's bad. Like, yeah, don't do that. Just don't do that.
Them and then girls, and then how many rooms do we need to create for equality? Or are we really chasing equity? And I think parents now are beginning to realize we've got to stop this and create framework about sexuality, especially in a hyper-sexualized culture. My kids don't need to know at 6, 7, and 8 years old about different types of sexual acts. That's not appropriate.
People think...
And they're not going to get taught that. He just said something that hasn't happened, and it's unlikely to happen. So glad to tell you that you don't need to worry about that, mate.
That this is just kind of happening. It's a one-off.
I think it's bad. Like, boys should understand how women's bodies work. Fuck. There's no reason to separate them. That's just ridiculous. You should not be doing that. Alright, hold on. Let me just launder this stuff. Launder that. Launder that. Ah, shit. That's treasure. Sorry, guys. And sell all the junk. All the junk is sold. Cool.
It is in so many schools. Where I live in Florida, there was a poster going around where kids could text anonymous strangers to get information about sex. And on this poster in school, want to get laid?
Wow.
I mean, it's.
I would like to see this and see the fucking thing behind this. This sounds fake as fuck. It's either not true or a complete misunderstanding of what's happening.
Beyond, and there is a push for pleasure-based sex. Pleasure for who?
My oldest is 9 years old.
Pleasure for your kids when they grow up. Do you not want your kids to have good sexual experiences? What? Wait, is this normal? Yo, do conservatives not want their kids to have good sex when they grow up? Do they want their kids to have shitty sexual experiences in life? What? Sounds like you're a shitty parent. Honestly, that sounds like awful parenting. You're bad, and you should feel bad.
She's in 3rd grade, and she's been exposed to things, and we do have conversations about it. But that's a conversation that I should be having with my 9-year-old daughter. If a 6th grader...
I'm sorry, but, you will avoid doing that until, it's much too late. Your child doesn't have any education, and they'll not be able to understand situations well enough, and they'll probably be taken advantage of and maybe raped. Yeah, none of this stuff that they're talking about is really happening, and parents are pretty shit at teaching their kids about sex. They're just not. You should be having experts in their fields talking to kids about sex. People who are fucking, certified in their field and also, vetoed by, and scrutinized. How is that not better than relying on parents to teach their kids about sex? Do you want to... Are you going to teach you as a parent want to teach your kid how to have good sex? How to have safe sex? I don't know. I don't trust you to do that because I don't know what your qualifications are other than you laid on your back for 3 minutes once and waited 9 months. What's your qualification rather than pushing out a child? I know that you love that kid, and I'm not taking that away. But did you study over those 9 months how to talk to your kids about sex and safe sex practices? Or are you maybe going to pass on your own personal traumas related to sex that you probably had to learn by yourself through trial and error, awkwardly and scarily, and pass on those feelings of anxiety around sex to your kids without realizing it? There is a problem when adults normalize sexual contact and subjects to children. How common is that in the classroom specifically? It is not common at all. It happens maybe once a year, in my experience. But I will always... I'm going to die on that hill that experts in talking to kids about sex should be talking to kids about sex. And not just a parent or a random teacher. It should be someone whose job it is to talk to kids about sex. People who are certified and vetoed and scrutinized. That's much better than relying on parents who have no qualifications. You may love your child, but you are not qualified to teach them in the same way that someone who has studied is qualified to teach them. I'm sorry. Unless you go through those that study in order to, homeschool your own kids. Like, I'm not trying to take away from, like, you shouldn't homeschool or something like that, because, like, if you're going to put in that effort and learn how to teach your kids properly and not just rely on conservative YouTube channels to try and teach them, then yeah, I say go ahead. But if you're just a conservative parent that wants to use a school as if it's some sort of daycare center for your kids, and then rely on them for everything, and then teach them a shitty version of what you think sex should be like, I'm sorry, I don't agree with that. You think different communities can have different rules on issues like sex ed, but you're into federalism. I'm into experts in their field, deferring to the experts and expert consensus. I don't really care. Talking about sex with kids should be a moral issue, in the way that we veto and scrutinize professionals, but the actual content of what kids are taught about sex should be based on science and like study and experts in their fields, not morals. It should be based on the facts.
Or a fourth grader is going to be prompted by a teacher, hey, what are your pronouns? As a parent, I should have a heads up about that, because they're not even going to
Wait, that has nothing to do with sexuality. That's grammar. Okay.
understand the question. And so I think that the idea that those conversations are
Well,
started
true,
in the classroom instead of in the home is a big problem. I have a family member who first day of 6th grade was asked for her pronouns, and she stood up and said that as a person of faith, she believed that God didn't make a mistake making her a girl, and so therefore she identified as a she, her, and she was sent to the principal's office and punished for that decision. Thankfully.
Okay. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, like, even if she did that, like, that was pretty, that was a shit thing to do. Yeah, and everybody clapped, but, like, also, oh, no, I would believe that. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, no, that sounds like something that that a kid would say if it tells me a lot about who she is as a parent and what she's teaching her kids. It sounds like she has spent a lot of time indoctrinating her child into this stuff. And that's sad. It's nothing to do with the kid. This is your fault, bitch.
We haven't seen that broadly yet, but I think it's really damaging to take a shy, innocent.
Yeah, you should have been taken to the office, not your kid, because you are the one that fuck. You are the one that fucked up there. You taught your child to say that in front of people. You taught your child to say hateful things. Yeah. You are an awful person. You should feel awful because of it.
11-year-old child and make them stand in front of a classroom and determine something that they maybe
Oh, she's saying a relative.
thought into.
Yeah. Well, her even if that did happen, right? Like, that tells me more about the parent than it does about the kids. And the school did do something wrong. They should have spoken to the parents, because if it was on the first day of school. But yeah, a friend of a friend. Yeah.
I like what you said, Sean, about how you were emphasizing, how a lot of parents today felt a goodness of the way that sexual education.
But no pushback at all on the fact that there was never a conversation about sexuality. Like, pronouns have nothing to do with your sexuality. Your gender has nothing to do with your sexuality. Your sexuality can interact with your gender, but your gender doesn't change your sexuality. I don't know why that was relevant in a discussion about whether sexuality does or does not belong in schools. It's not. Being asked for pronouns when you start school is a question of grammar and of respect. And it says more about you that you are sexualizing these aspects. You are sexualizing transgender children. You are making it so that transgender people are inherently sexual. You are sexualizing children and grooming your children into very fundamentalist Christian views. That tells me that you are a bigger danger to your child than the teachers are. Yeah. Bit of a self-report there.
Was conducted in the past. So there is an agreement that sexuality should be talked about in schools. The disagreement is whether it should just be purely heteronormative or if we should include all aspects of sexuality.
That's a really good way of talking about it.
Demonstrations to encourage children how to have sex, but this is something that we are trying to, again, educate and make them aware that this kind of things happen. And while you grow up, you're going to have to experience somebody who's of this orientation.
Kids are naturally curious, and I think that what I'm hearing from you is
It's not so much child liberation, Happy Puritan, that I would go for. I would, like children should have agency to a certain extent, but like the upbringing of a child should not rely on parents' morals and opinions. That's a shitty way of running a society. That just ignores the fact that we live in a society and we should be working together, not like, just relying on people who are not necessarily educated enough to make decisions about the raising of their children. We should be working together to raise kids as a community.
Understand where you're maybe potentially coming from, but then where's the line between that sex education and introducing them to porn? Because porn can be educational. I was a virgin when I got married, and for years I was made fun of and heard, well, how are you going to know if you don't try it? We hear that a lot too. If you haven't tried to kiss a girl to see if you like it or not, then how do you really know that you're not a lesbian? How do you really know
No one says that. No one says that.
You're not gay if you've never slept with a guy? How do you really know that you want to be in a monogamous relationship if you don't sleep around? And
yeah, I don't know who she's hearing about these things from, but lesbian women get attacked for that so much.
when you start to introduce those questions to children, specifically prepubescent ones, they're going to naturally be curious, and their emotional and hormonal maturity is not there to be making those types of decisions that have lifelong impact.
Well, you're right, and a lot of them are learning at home because.
But like,
just like you guys are saying, they come home to tell you things. Well, guess what? Those same kids come to school and talk about what you're telling them at home. You'll be surprised what I hear from.
He's saying exactly the same thing I did earlier.
Might do a what do you think? Well, let me tell you what my mama and daddy did. And look, I don't have time. Your kid is not that important to me, not to be rude. I got like 300 students. Your kid is no more important than the other 299. So I don't have time to sit up here and let me get you to think like me. I can't get my own 23-year-old to think like me. At the end of the day, what needs to happen, and this is just my own personal take, parents.
Yeah, that's right, Bunny Beelino. I've only ever heard people say that to lesbians to try and sleep with them.
You need to start being parents, because a lot of times the teachers are the parents. They're parenting your kids because absentee parenting.
I think that this conversation is really interesting, and I think we need to step back and look at why we automatically assume that if we're telling our children about lesbians, gay people, queer people, why do we immediately equivocate that to telling them about what sex is? That can just be something as simple as, here's a book. In this book, there are 2 dads. This book character has 2 dads. And kids, they can be inquisitive, and that's good, right? But also, like, they're gonna be like, cool, there's two dads.
All these kids know that there's a dad and a dad and a mom and a mom, and the culture is teaching all of that. So what we've noticed is that the curriculum in 8th grade and up is a lot deeper than that. It's more like, here is how you can have sex so you do not get pregnant. Illustration of anal sex. That is the stuff that we're now reacting against.
Okay, and everyone clapped. Illustrations of anal sex? I'm sorry, but like, where are you seeing this? Where is she seeing this? Like, they what do they think that is happening in schools? Holy shit.
And that, sadly, is the trust that...
But like, in high school, teaching kids about how to have safe anal sex, that's a good thing. Like, being taught by professionals who are vetoed and scrutinized, not just any teacher, like you know, a sexual education teacher who is talking to them about how to have safe sex, that is a good thing for your child's future, to avoid anal fissures and stuff like that. Abstinence-based education does not help kids. Knowledge helps kids, and then they can make their own decisions later on in life. Fucking hell.
It's being broken between teachers and parents.
Yeah, and I think we're moving into a conversation about comprehensive sex ed. What I am talking about is when I go into this classroom and I'm teaching kids, I'm not going to just teach kids material that is heteronormative.
Out of curiosity, it sounds like what you're saying is you want to be able to introduce all ways of life. Like these are the people that you will encounter with throughout life.
That is what I'm arguing, yes.
So would it be okay to include a book with a man having a relationship with a 12-year-old in that book? I know it's extreme.
No,
hold on, but just hear me out.
Because now you're equivocating gay people to pedophiles.
No, I'm not.
What the fuck? What the fuck? Wait, there's a new Ye interview? Fucking hell.
Okay to include a book with a man having a relationship with a 12-year-old.
You got the source? There's a new Ye interview? Ooh, Ye and Gavin. Fucking hell.
That is heteronormative.
Hold on a second. Like, link me that. Link me that. But
you want to be able to introduce.
But this.
All ways of life. Like these are the people that you will encounter with throughout life.
That is what I'm arguing. Yes.
So would it be okay to include a book with a man having a relationship with a 12-year-old in that book? I know it's extreme. Hold on, but just.
What is he fucking trying to say right now? Like, that teacher is continually trying to pull things back from, like, sex and talking... No, they shouldn't read books about Republican politicians. Oh, no, yeah, true.
Now you're equivocating gay people to pedophiles.
No, I'm not.
And no, that's not okay.
That is
No, you're drawing a line that I'm not drawing.
And you're definitely crossing the line.
I agree. I agree. And this is why I'm bringing it up, is who establishes the boundary?
Experts in their field coming to a consensus. Expert consensus over what is good and bad for children, and since children cannot consent within a pedophilic relationship, that is rape. It's hot. It's new hot. Hot. Wait, you want me to look at it right now? But I'm in the middle of content! Oh my gosh, this is 43 minutes. Fucking hell. Ugh. Fuck. What do you reckon? Alright, hold on a sec. Poll. You poll. I've forgotten what I was reacting to. For some reason, all I can think of is Jubilee. Yeah. All right, we doing it. We've got. Did he actually glue the mask to his face? Yeah, maybe. Uh, uh, uh. Alright, vote. Y'all got 5 minutes. Ooh, ooh. Are you gonna put mask on me and then cummies? Ooh. You can glue it to your face with cummies. Ye's mask is glued to his face with fucking, oh, what's his name? Milo's cummies. Ugh. Fucking gross. Alright, cool. Everything's sorted. Yay fired Milo because they couldn't, because it would be unethical for them to date while being there. Ooh. What if it's a what if it's a what do you call it? I don't know. I can't remember words. I'm gonna continue doing this grind and blah. How do I get in? Where's the entrance? Ooh. Ooh la la. Oh, you touch my tra-la-la. My ding ding dong. Do, 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 do. Oh, it's a tribute. Alright. Hey! Yeah, I bet he was straight. Super awesome. Like, super gay straight. Oh, my ding ding dong. Hey! Nice. Alright. Sorry, I'm looking for a particular spot that I need to find. Where's the crafting area? Oh yeah. Balls deep in your guts. What's this? Where's the crafting areas? Dang it. Right, in here? Crafting in here? Oh, an alchemy station, at least. No. Oh. Alchemy station. Wait, 2 alchemy stations. I just need 1. And all the rest of the stations. Oh, here we go. This has got a woodworking station thing on it. Alright. You guys keep on doing your the poll. And once I get back from the ladies' room, I'll do whatever wins. So don't go anywhere, or do. Either way though, I'll be back very shortly. Alright, I'm back. Oh. What have we got here? We've got... Where's the poll? View results. Why is it taking me to a new thing? We have 2 votes and 2 votes for Ye's new video and 0 votes for the Jubilee. So I'll do the Jubilee, continue that later, but for now, we're going to look at this shit.
All right, shall we start?
I think we shall.
Yay! Nick, we're here. So this is Saturday afternoon, 2 days after the InfoWars interview, and I was just telling you before we started filming that we were watching it at home, and Ryan and I were just looking at each other. About every 20 minutes, we look at each other.
I could be like an anti-Semite, an anti-Semite, an anti-Semite, and an anti-Semite walk into a bar. I can do that joke now. Anti-Semiteception. He thumbs the Bible. You're giving the... I'm not. Although, it's probably an unpaid intern. But people shouldn't make money from fascism anyway. So, I think, like, being an unpaid intern for Gavin McInnes is the most, like, ethical, like, internship, unpaid internship ever. Okay.
And just go, like, this is a big deal. This was an effect.
Where are they recording
and
this?
I think that on I mean, there's a spectrum of reactions, of course, and the biggest reaction, the most positive one, is it's the craziest, most punk rock thing since the Sex Pistols got kicked off the Bill Grundy show. But on the other end of the spectrum, people are saying this is bad for a presidential campaign, to say the least. Where do you stand on that?
Don't say spectrum. That sets yay off, please.
Spectrum.
I think it's awesome for a presidential campaign.
Yeah.
To have someone that's honest, that understands the state of the world, and that's ready to listen to what the American people need.
But Hitler's got a pretty bad reputation.
Well, who made that reputation? That was made by
Hitler.
Jewish
Oh my
people.
gosh. Oh, for fuck's sake. Are you fucking kidding me? What the fuck?
Well, the murdering Jews was a pretty big part of his bad reputation.
Yeah, but some of it's incorrect. Also, the Holocaust is not the only Holocaust. So for them to take that and claim, we have abortion right now. That's eugenics. That's genocide. That's a Holocaust that we're dealing with right now.
That's not a Holocaust. That's not a Holocaust. That's not the Holocaust. That's not even a genocide. Yeah.
Jewish people control the majority of the media.
Oh my
along
gosh.
With banks, along with real estate, along with malls. They can control the narrative. Like, history is written by the winners. They were upset that Hitler was kicking them out of the country. By the time, the Holocaust, there's only 250,000 Jews left.
Well, really diving into it here.
Let's get into real information at this point. What did they think were going to happen? Matter of fact, it's like, I think the Jews are like really, I think the Jewish, like Mossad and Rahm Emanuel and Bibi Netanyahu and all of them, I think they really got soft.
Yeah, I'm
here.
not going to
Like,
do
I
the
get to walk
counter.
around and say the truth out
That's going to
loud.
just, like...
Oh, no.
He's already gone into the Holocaust denial. He's hit 6 million already.
They got him dropping headphones over here. But yeah, Jesus is king. Really, I just lean into a...
Malls only control narrative when they're empty and they're in liminal space horror games.
Christ needs me to do, and I'm 1,000% faithful as I can be as a man, and I repent for the things where I fall short. But the only way for us to bring America back to where it needs to be, this is a Christian country, and it needs to be ran by Christian leaders that don't bow to Jared Kushner, that don't bow to Rahm Emanuel. You already know DeSantis is a fake conservative. We don't even know who the Democrats are going to put up. And yeah, that's my answer to that.
Okay, I'm gonna have an intervention here for you and Nick, and let me just make a case. Yes, there are almost 80 to 90% of Hollywood is Jewish, probably more. Media, yeah, I'm gonna say like 80% of media is Jewish, but I see the Jews we're talking about in these cases as liberal elites, high IQ people, whites, and when you have, like, they're disproportionately represented in medicine too, because they have high IQs. So the problem isn't these Jews, and most of them are secular Jews, atheists. I don't see Soros as Jewish. So we have these secular, mostly atheist Jewish people with high IQs who dominate fields that tend to require high IQs. They're overrepresented in chess and mathematics too. So the real issue here, and there is an ethnomasochism, there is some sort of like, let's burn it to the ground. But I think that trait is a white trait, a liberal elite white trait. Oh, not even white per se, a liberal elite trait. Kamala Harris, Barack Obama, they also have these traits. And there's some sort of like lemming DNA in white people where when they reach a certain amount of success, they just want to take it off a cliff. And I don't like when Jews get pulled into that, because when I think of my Orthodox Jewish friends and even my Hasidic friends, these people are conservative, Trump supporting.
The people that, like, people who know the difference between different ethnicities within Judaism are like the same sort of sus people who like think that Irish people aren't white.
You know, American patriots, and the Jews that are getting lumped in with this sort of ethno-masochistic cultural suicide tend not really to be Jewish. I call them ginos, Jews in name only. It's liberal elite whites you should have a beef with.
Yeah, but I lump them all in together. That's what I did. That's
good.
That's why the tweet said that, Jewish people.
This is like so many different layers of like anti-Semitism in this whole fucking thing. This is it. This is the divorced out anti-Semite arc. Holy shit.
But this trait, like, you know, blacks are overrepresented in violent crime. But when you meet an individual black person, you don't apply that.
They're overrepresented. I wonder if he's going to go into why they're overrepresented. I doubt it.
And you start with a fresh slate every time you meet someone. Do you do that with Jews?
Nope.
This intervention isn't going very well. I mean, when I talk to I've noticed that Jews are a tenacious bunch, and they're great for every movement, especially the conservative movement. Who's helping me sue the SPLC? Ron Coleman. Who's helping me sue Rutherford for shutting down my talk, or Penn State for shutting down my talk? John Gross, Rabbi John Gross. I don't know, they tend to get the system, and maybe it's because they've been ostracized from the system for so long, they're good at hustling.
They complicated the system. They put it in Yiddish.
Every business needs a hipster, a hacker, and a hustler. We're good hipsters in that we're creative. The hackers...
Because Fuentes wants a future in politics.
And the hustlers, that's like the tech guys. Asians tend to dominate the hacker part, the tech part. Hustlers, salesmen, guys who can set it up, they tend to be Jewish, and they would be an integral part of your campaign.
See, stereotypes exist for a reason.
Sure, I'm fine with stereotypes.
I'm sure we'll get a lot of...
Yeah, but you don't agree with the reasons behind those things. That's the problem. Yes, these things exist for a reason. Clear reasons that these things exist. But you wouldn't agree with those reasons because you're fucking racist and an anti-Semite.
Votes, but the only thing about there is there's actually not a lot of Jew votes because there's actually not a lot of Jews in America. You know, there's 5 million Jews in America. We have, you know, if you include the illegal aliens, there's 400 million Americans.
Like every time someone says, "Oh, but like, don't you agree that Jewish people have like a disproportionate amount of power?" I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, no, I don't agree with that. Like, tell me how Jewish people have a disproportionate amount of power. Like, are you telling me that there's people in positions of power who have Jewish ancestry or like believe in or practicing Jewish ideals? You need to show me a link and a reason why those things are relevant before I fucking agree with you. Like, it's fucking ridiculous. Like, you need to prove it. You need to be able to prove this shit to me, and no one has ever actually done that. They just use dog whistles to say that Jewish people are in charge. And I'm like, well, which ones? And then they bring up people who aren't even Jewish, like companies that may have been started by Jewish people but aren't Jewish now. And then that's beside the point, because there's nothing within Judaism that relates to what you're trying to talk about. I can point to white people and show the power dynamics and how they work through material analysis, but you can't fucking do that with Jewish people. You just can't. It doesn't matter if you're Jewish or not. It just matters whether you're a part of the in-group, which is white and rich. It's like, no, oh, white people are all evil, saying shit, rich people only care about themselves, we need to stop them. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, Brendan Sterling. Roger Sterling. Is this really Kanye? Yeah, it is. This is a brand new one. Also, welcome to the stream.
There's how many potential voters are there in America? 300 million potential voters, 260 million.
Sure, right.
Yeah, 260 million voters, but yeah.
Wait. 260 million voters. Wait. Actually, that's interesting. Wow. $331 million. Not turnout. Number of registered voters in 2020 was 168 million. That's weird. But I would find I would find I would find it interesting to have a look at the demographics between like the percentage of black people in America who are like the total population versus the population of black voters who are eligible for votes. You know what I mean? Because like there's the hidden sort of thing that the disproportionate amount of black people that are put in prisons means that their voting population is even further reduced. It's interesting. Because of like your laws around like people who've been convicted of a felony or whatever can't vote, which is the craziest thing. That's just madness to me.
The Jewish people run America, and also
no, they don't.
They got China scared, and I don't think that they run. I don't feel like they run Russia, but everywhere else they're all in South Africa.
Most of the
now.
oligarchs are Jewish, aren't they, in Russia?
Okay, well they run that too. But Christ runs the world. Jesus Christ is king, and there's a power structure. I talked about it on Alex Jones, where it's the old families, and these aren't Jewish guys. It's like Italian, like Medici, that territory. Then it goes to Vatican, which is the blood of Peter and not Paul. And Peter denounced Jesus. And then you go to BlackRock and Vanguard. You go to the financial groups, and then beneath that.
Peter denounced Jesus. What is he talking about? This is like entry level Romaboo shit. I swear.
You have governments. You have the world leaders, so to say. Then you go to Hollywood, where Ari Emanuel is getting too much credit because even though his UFC fighters couldn't make him any money until they got on YouTube, he's still considered this like champion Hollywood guy because he's the one that wrote the open letter after he had the humiliation ceremony with Elon Musk. And that's the reason why I said that, remember, this is my last tweet. It wasn't about Elon being overweight. It's the fact that Ari Emanuel was hosing down our favorite Iron Man, Elon Musk. And I said, bro, what is the point of having all of that, money and all of that intelligence to go in and you buy Twitter? And they're like, we're going to bankrupt you and pull all of the advertisement unless you bow to the Jewish people. And that's something that I'm just not willing to do. And then Ben Shapiro is running this narrative that I'm going to kill myself, right? And he's like, due to his mental health, he's going to kill himself. That way, if they did attempt to kill me like they killed Michael Jackson or JFK, or Aaron, what is the guy's name? Aaron Carter, the guy who wanted to talk to me about the Harley Pasternak situation. If they did do that, they would say, it's Ye's mental health. So it's like, how many times do I have to prove, or how many times do I have to do something like so miraculous for people to see that it's brilliance and it's not mental health? Like me wearing a mask.
How many times do I have to be anti-Semitic before people call me brilliant? Honey, I think there are people calling you brilliant, but they're not the kind of people that you want to be calling you brilliant. I'll tell you that. Holy fuck. Oh my gosh. This is crazy. Holy shit. Not like colloquial crazy, not like having a go, but like fucking hell. My dude. You need better friends. You really need better friends. Oh no. This is pretty awful. Oh my gosh.
Gives me this ability to not have to worry about showing my face so I can think about what I'm saying and I can channel. When you load up a picture of Michael Jordan, he's smiling, he's jumping from the free throw line, he's got his shirt off. When you load up a picture of Phil Knight, you can't even see him. He's got his hat low. you know, he's jogging 10 steps ahead of his wife. I've actually seen him do this before. When I saw that in real life, I was like, oh, that explains my issue with Nike. And then then Phil Knight goes and supports a conservative Republican on purpose as a, how do you say FU in Christian? As a,
you don't.
Screw up?
As a slight to Nike, right? And then he goes and says, he comes back to say, oh, Kyrie, you took it far. Shut the hell up, Phil Knight. Nobody cares. No one's exploited the culture more than Phil Knight and Nike. Nike is not even a progressive, prosperous organization anymore. Nike is what is the opposite of prosperity? Disparity. This is a disparaging organization. Nike is used to gerrymander because black people like Nike. So Nike writes BLM on the side. Nike gets LeBron to say whatever he's paid to say, right? In order to control the black votes and to keep the black votes inside of a 90% net that we vote as a block. And we're so used to the pain. You start with the sugar, then you take the fathers out the home, then you put the sex trafficking strip clubs, then you put the alcohol, the Hennessy, all in that. And then if you have someone, you say, look, over here, you're not going to get any of that, but you're going to get freedom and prosperity. No one knows what that tastes like. People know what pain tastes like. They know what the Hennessy tastes like. They know what not having a dad there tastes like. They know what mom having in the DR, moms, you know, people have to go into prostitution a lot of times. So they know what that tastes like. So people,
this is
devil,
really hard to follow.
They trust the devil they know versus the one that they don't know. And right now you got a thing where me as a black man that was separated from my dad, and my mom was a liberal, and she went to a state school called Chicago State, and they gave her a job there, and put us on the south side of Chicago on 79th Street. My experience, right, has brought me to be the richest, you know, black man of all time, a multi-billionaire. And the people at Adidas, they wouldn't even take meetings with me, and I was 68% of their online sales and brought Adidas back. And then when I was in the Kardashian family, I had no say-so on where we had Christmas. There was only one time that I even got to design the Christmas party. Or when I had the meeting with Trump, it was all about how I could help him with the black vote. So I see as a black person, you know, we could talk about race. Yeah, race. The whole world's racist. We get it. But it's more that black is looked at as like a vehicle. It's like a Mercedes-Benz.
He's like if you fast forward Trump, basically, and without the inflections.
It's like if someone has a bunch of cars. This is the way politics works. It's like someone has an SUV. Well, that's the 70% white America. That's my family car, right? But then they got this motorcycle over here that maybe they need to ride on the weekends. That's the black vote. And nobody better steal their motorcycle. Oh, Ye's wearing a red hat. He's trying to steal our motorcycle. We need to keep our motorcycle right here in this one place in case I want to drive the black vote into wherever we want to drive it. And I have this cousin, like a lot of people in my family, and this is the reason why I don't never show up to no family reunions. A lot of people in my family are like cops. They're literally police agents, went to war and all this stuff. So my dad is always trying to put me on the phone with cousins and family members I never heard of. And right when they get to texting a lot of stuff, I'm like, look at this woke dude. And I tell him I put the woke to sleep. We can save all that woke conversation from me because that woke conversation is just rehashing black misery and complaints with no solutions. You know, we're inventors here. I gave a bit of the perspective right now, but what I'd like is, and what I praise God for is, we are beings with engineering opportunities. There's a lot of culture that we got to just clean that out. We got to say, okay, for a fact, there's a collusion of Jewish attorneys, managers, and everything else you can think of.
Fucking, if there's collusion there, then you need to be able to prove it. Like, this is just fucking anti-Semitic conspiracy theories, like, mixed up with, like, someone drove a car, something to do with petrol. My gosh, like, this, it's not just me, right? It's not just me. This is really hard to follow.
That they don't abort their children. They only marry within their tribe, right? And then they'll give America porn, not just black people, but poor white people.
Jewish people, Jewish, like, in the Torah, like, it describes how to use how to abort children, but it's only ever used to control women. So, you know, balance that how you will.
And Mexican people, they use porn.
Anyway, like, abortion is not a conspiracy theory. Please stop. It's just not. It's just a health service to get rid of an unwanted pregnancy. That's it. Done. Just man. Yeah, it's very hard to find bits to actually respond to because he's talking a lot of shit. It's like this is what I used to do when I was a salesperson. I used to just talk about everything I knew about the item until people gave up and bought it. Basically, effectively. Wait, where's the thing? Where am I going? Where am I going? I thought he's telling me to go to a place, but hold on a second. I need to find the woodworking. Blade works. I think the woodworkers. Yeah, that's the woodworking. Yep. Back to it.
It's like gas. We want to talk about gas.
Oh, that was quick. Got taken down. 13 hours. This happens a lot. Y'all give me some friggin' like stuff. Yeah, it just got taken down. Just got taken down. Watch. Just got taken down. Oh well. Yeah. Yeah. I saw that source here first, mate. Yeah, like, fuck. If only I could, like, upload my videos on time, but yeah. What? This is not the first time. This is the third time that I've been watching a video that got taken down while I've been watching it. This is the third time now. But yeah. Yep. And also, yeah, dangerous as fuck for me to actually react to that. Because, maybe I'll do some clown stuff, who knows. If I get enough people who are interested and willing to contribute funds for clown costumes, maybe I should do that. I'll does anyone know of any better wish lists than Amazon? Like wish lists which you can just put like links to anything on? I'm not. I like. See, I've spoken about how my Twitter feed is always full of for friggin' clown porn because of the people that I follow. But like, I find it not like sexually appealing to me, but I do find it like very. I don't know the words. I don't know, feel like it helps me feel good about the way that I look and looking at other people like and having fun with their various different body types. It's just really like it's feel good stuff. Clown porn is feel good stuff in a way that a lot of other porn isn't. So yeah, you heard it here first. Clown porn is wholesome. A common thing for trans folk, for like how furries are, okay, they express parts of yourself that normally get hidden. Yeah. I just basically I don't have like a thing that I ascribe to. I just wait a second. Where's she gone? Where'd she go? Oh wait. Uh-huh. Is she over here? What the hell? Yeah, I did the thing. Sorry, I'm just trying to find the bloody woman that was bloody this, bloody that. Oh, maybe she's gone back. Yeah, like I don't get it myself. Like the way I look and Pierre is just me. The things I like about myself. Oh, okay. I need to acquire raw jute. Dang it. Possibilities are cool / endless. Yeah. Yeah, I just can't seem to get it to work. Trying to take off her panties and pull out a dick and just kept taking their endless handkerchiefs. Yeah. Hey, I leveled up. Cool. Level 12 rewards. We'll return to content very shortly. I should get the, how many quests have I got? 15, good. I should get, the Mages Guild, quests sorted. Map. What's this? What's this one? Is it in the Fighters Guild? I am the content. Bum bum bum! Okay, Scold's agent. Find the Scold's agent. Ooh, hello. That's a cool looking shield, not gonna lie. Held. Armsman. Oh, I see. Lyris! Sup?
I'm not exactly sure. That's why we need to investigate. But if they have the ability to summon destructive storms on command, think of
Okay, let's go to the meeting place. Who knows? I'm doing a quest. I'm doing a quest now. We're just doing it. Alright, let's fix this description. Libs versus cons again.
Law.
But what law? The law is
But the law that's been signed in, it's some
No, I'm
states
sorry. No,
make
there's
it.
laws against between adults having sex with children. Now, if a student had two parents who happen to be of the same sex, I'm not going to sit there and discount who they are in my class. I cannot do that. I signed a contract.
I would never ask anybody to uplift or suppress any child. I want there to be equality in the class.
No, you don't. You don't want people to be respected for their pronouns. You've already said that. So that's just fucking bullshit.
What I am saying is that there are factual instances where this is being taught in classrooms. I pulled my
What?
children out of
Wait, pedophilia? What?
public
Bullshit.
school because there are so many instances of this happening. I am a parent.
Of what?
I'm
Of pedophilia? What are you talking
looking in the
about?
book bag every day. I'm checking in with homework. I am talking to the teachers and the principals, and I'm involved. But we didn't know that, during class, there were images shown of literal sex acts or describing certain.
How else do you fucking teach kids about sexual education without showing them images? It's usually fucking just cartoons. Seriously, it's just some weird ass cartoons. They've been showing the same shit since the 80s. Oh my gosh. This is just these people are frustrating. These people are so frustrating.
Situations that were inappropriate for young children.
We have a belief.
I'm sorry, but no. Learning about sex is not inappropriate for kids. Teaching kids how to have safe sex is important, and it should be taught by people whose specialization it is to teach kids about sexual education, people who are vetoed and scrutinized. No one is advocating for your kid's maths teacher to start talking to your kids about sex. Nobody. Nobody is advocating for that. And if you are making those claims, you are being absolutely dishonest. Also, where the fuck is this magic trail? It's supposed to be a magic trail. Where is it? Yeah. Okay. Oh, I'm supposed to use the Ice Reach Coven medallion. Okay. Dwarven gear. That is trash. apparently. Spicy beet salad. Yummy. But I need to mark as an inventory, but I don't know. Hey kids, if anyone touches you here or here, please. You don't even have to do that. You don't even to do, like, do you know what you do? Do you know the first thing that you teach young kids about consent? Is when they're fighting. Hey, don't hit another child. Don't hit anyone unless they say it's okay first. Done. That's all you need to say. That's so fucking easy and has nothing to do with sex. Say, nobody gets to hit you without you asking for it. Done. That's the first step. You don't need to talk about sex. Consent isn't always about sex, even. Oh, it took me 30 minutes to understand. What does ectopic pregnancy mean? Yeah. Men don't even understand, like, how crazy painful periods can be. Like, that's how bad this whole shit is. Men are taught fucking nothing. Hey, Lyris, what are we doing here?
Don't look at me. It's not like Nords are known for...
Ah, I'm supposed to use it here. Okay.
It actually worked. Follow that trail. I'll take the other one.
Okay. I'm gonna follow this trail then. Whee! But yeah.
Belief system at home, and the children want to break the boundaries of that belief system naturally because we're human beings. That's just what we do. And we're trying to confine them to a set of beliefs to say, this is what is right in our home. And we're seeing...
Okay, so you're indoctrinating your kids into certain beliefs which don't, oh my gosh, which aren't acceptable in wider society, basically. And you want to have the privilege to groom your kids into that kind of mindset.
The schools get funding from Planned Parenthood. They tried to pass a bill to put medical facilities to offer abortions in high schools here in California. And it's gradual, right? It starts with, this is a book that has 2 dads. This is a book with 2 moms. And it's just a gradual curiosity that could leverage and break away that child from the root in the home.
Is he saying that the root in the home is that, like, homosexuality is evil or something like that? Because that's what it sounds like to me. It kind of sounds like he's saying that, like, in his household, he teaches his kids that being homosexual is a sin. Which, no, you shouldn't be able to teach your kids that. Because that's not just a personal belief that stays inside the home. That's something that your kids take to school and use to bully other children. If you're teaching your kids that, and then your kids go on to be sent to the principal's office for that, for treating other kids like they are lesser, that's your fault. Not the fucking teachers. That is your fucking fault for being a piece of shit human being who's grooming their kids into becoming bullies and fucking awful human beings. You're grooming your children into a mindset which seeks to undermine and devalue human beings. Yeah, no, I mean, you might have noticed me using the G word a few times here. I'm using that very, very purposefully here because they are the ones who are grooming children. Because they are grooming children into, like, anti-scientific, anti-social behaviors. Awful behaviors that will affect other children. It's just like vaccines. It's not just about you. It's not just your personal choice. Your personal choices affect other people's lives. So you just don't have the freedom to take other people's freedoms away. Your freedom ends where my kids' understanding of basic science and how to treat people with fucking respect. And the freedom that other kids have to go to school and not be bullied. And not be treated as lesser for something that they have no choice at in the first place. If the slippery slope existed in the way that this man is describing, then there would be no one homosexual. There would be no homosexual people. Do you know why? Because there is so much heteronormative bullshit out there that people would just be like, that people's sexualities wouldn't be any other than that. It doesn't work like that. Ooh. I wouldn't say I wouldn't go that far. Let's not make the word meaningless.
Oh, my education growing up was fully public education. College is where I started getting a curiosity for truth and education, and
I wonder if when people criticize him for his hairstyle, he starts talking about not Judeo. What's that dead culture that no one actually has anymore? The not Nordic, Anglo, like Anglo-Saxon history. Because no one's Anglo or Saxon anymore. Like that culture died out a long time ago. There is no Anglo-Saxon culture anymore. Ooh.
I think I'm so passionate about the education system today because it is obviously broken, but how do we fix it? Many of these progressive ideas in fixing it is just more empathy, sympathy, safety.
Okay, so like he's talking about performative wokeness. No, most people who are looking for progressive reforms in schooling seek to increase funding and increase education levels, not like performative woke BS. Like the pronoun stuff, all of that stuff, that's just bare minimum stuff. That's stuff which can be implemented as well as actual reforms. Like, the only people who have an issue with this shit are conservatives who are like creating a moral panic over nothing. Literally. Everything that they're doing a moral panic over is like not happening. All the claims, false. Just their opinions.
Safety, but in reality, I see the public school system isn't actually accomplishing the goal of what education is, which is teaching critical thinking, how to understand, how to ask good questions, and then comprehend how to problem solve.
Affirmative action is racial discrimination.
But we can do both. We can teach children about grammar and teach children about critical thinking. We can have sexual education and teach critical thinking. Like, what? What? Ooh. Hold on a second. I want to intimidate you. Yes, intimidating presence. You shall be intimidated.
Hello, traveler. You monster.
Ah. 75 experience. Did I get any gold? I didn't get any gold. Rude. What is this? Affirmative action.
There's a high school down the street from where I live in Los Angeles.
Affirmative action is racial discrimination. Holy shit. Is anyone going to use the word meritocracy?
Encouraged all the kids of color to apply for their school play. And only once all the kids of color received whatever positions they wanted, then the white kids
Bullshit. I want proof.
could apply. That, in my opinion, is an example of...
I need context. I need context. I need context. That is absolute bullshit. I don't believe it. That is bullshit. I'll apologize if it's true, but like if you can't fucking prove it, then yeah. Nah. Prove it. Prove it, bitch.
Discrimination. The fact that we now have Harvard has black-only kids' dorms,
Yep.
that to me is segregation.
With affirmative action, we've seen
No, it isn't.
Harvard lawsuit.
No, that's a safe space for black people to get away from white people like you. Yeah, that's what that is. Wait. Hey, Rude. What are you hurting me for?
And other things, how it's backfiring and it's picking and choosing of which minorities can and cannot have.
How is it backfiring? How is it working in the ways that you're talking about? Affirmative action, like you're talking about, are official policies and procedures that companies put into place in order to better serve minority communities. You're talking about something that didn't happen, and making a moral panic over nothing.
Success. It was done to try to create or make up for the wrongs of our past, but I think it's really backfired.
No.
Yeah, it's really...
No. It's not about the wrongs of the past. It's about stuff that's happening today. The things that are happening today are still affecting black people and other minorities. So yeah, the generational trauma exists. People are still struggling for the same reasons that they always have, and they probably shouldn't be struggling anymore, because it's not fair. It's just not fair.
And excluding those excelling students in other races to fix the problems of the past, like you said.
It's not excluding anyone. Affirmative action only feels like discrimination to people who are used to having everything handed to them. But when you don't understand how easy your life has been, then yeah, that would feel like discrimination. Yeah, I mean, like, it's not legitimate discrimination. Unfortunately, fortunately for you, it's not legitimate discrimination. But yeah, I can understand why it would feel like that, because, you know, all these people are getting extra stuff, but you don't realize that you've already started with extra stuff. So, like,
I think the past, there were a lot of minorities that were excelling and doing really well.
Despite the foot of the
Exactly.
government, and like
Yes.
kudos to them.
Yes.
Incredible, strong.
and they should still have to exist with the foot of the government on their necks. Cool. Conservatives are like the worst kind of
and
people.
We should have that discrimination in any way anymore, but unfortunately it has become a discrimination against other groups.
Yeah, it's
Bullshit.
racism.
Prove it. Prove it. Show us how the system. Show us that how it hurts people systemically. Prove it.
It is racism. If you are taking a group of people and judging them on their race and setting them aside, giving them a special treatment, if you are up.
It's not racism to, like, be able to study reality. It's not racism to say, yeah, this is colorblindness at the end of the day. Just pretending, but it's closing your eyes and pretending like racism doesn't exist in order to defeat it. It doesn't work. It doesn't work, because people will still be discriminated against by the color of their skin, and also deal with generational trauma as a result of the disproportionate amount of black men that are sent to prison, unable to vote, unable to care for their families, creating single-parent families who can't afford to break free of the poverty cycle, just increasing the amount of poverty and crime. It's a vicious circle. That's why affirmative action is necessary. Oh my gosh. I might fail this one. Oh, I failed it. Oh, I can try again. Good. Hold on a second.
Uplifting a person, or you are trying to suppress a person because of their race, that is racism. So we're supposed to believe that someone like...
No, the racism isn't pointing out the things that are racist. You understand? The things that we're pointing out as a result of affirmative action and critical race theory, things that we're pointing out that are structural problems within society, those are the racist things. Pointing them out isn't racist. They still exist whether you point them out or not. Lady, you've missed the mark so much. It's just like, it's basically me pointing out that she's got I'm like, oh no, you've got a spider on your arm. And then she gets shitty at me because I pointed out that there's a spider on her arm. And colorblindness is just turning off the lights and acting as though the problem's not there anymore. That's it. That's what she's talking about.
Like, Barack Obama's children are like struggling because they're black. Like, that's ridiculous. So I pulled.
That's because there is a intersection between class and race, and there's more to life than just race.
My oldest.
This is what lack of education does to a motherfucker. And she thinks that she should be given the right to teach her own kids when she doesn't even understand, like, the intersection of race and class. I'm sorry, but, like, not understanding basic things about the way the world works kind of disqualifies you from being able to teach kids, I feel.
Started out a public school in Florida. We were having debates about pulling down statues and changing names, and some of the school board members and some of the activist groups were saying that black children could not learn because of names on buildings, and that is completely
bullshit. Bullshit. I don't believe that for a second. I believe that you've taken those things out of fucking out of context. That's some bullshit. That might have been what you got out of those conversations, but I very much doubt that that's how shit went down.
Asinine to me. It basically says that because we have a higher level of melanin, somehow our brains don't work. Every other kid can walk into the building.
No, fucking hell. That's you not understanding something. Which is okay. You don't have to understand things, but don't fucking talk about them as if you do. And then Pikachu face when people ridicule you for it. Come on.
And get the education that they needed, but somehow not for you black children. And I found that to be just disgusting.
That's
and I
not
did
how,
not want my
yeah.
children to have any type of
that's not how it
idea
works.
coming from a
First of all, like, press X to doubt that she was ever involved with any of these meetings. This is a very common conservative talking point that gets shared around. I very much doubt that she had anything to do with that. These people all seem like fucking liars in the first place. Secondly, like, yeah, that's not what was being said. That's not what it meant. Spider on your arm.
Authority
That's
figures who believed in such things like that.
How are the teachers going to, like, talk about this?
First
is my
of
question.
all, I would like to say that affirmative action programs, the biggest beneficiary according to the data, and this has been government data, has been white women first and foremost. Second of all, I would never use Barack Obama's kids as a barometer for anything because they do have privilege as well as Will Smith kids. But if we talk about Laquan Smith down the street that nobody knows, there will be some impediments based on his race. Yeah.
Why? How do you know that?
Because people do tend to look and see race. What you were talking about is just racism, but when it's institutional and structural, it does something totally different. And when the black wealth gap is 100 years behind the white wealth gap in America, it'll take 100 years to catch up.
Why do you think that's because of racism, though? You take one thing and say that.
Why do you think that's because of racism? Because of the history of slavery? What? Did she go to school?
That is the cause for every person of color.
The data
What data? What data is saying that black people are behind? Because there are many black people that aren't behind, that are doing much better than other people.
No, you're absolutely right. And there are outliers in every single community. There are very strong, members of the black community that are very affluent. There are also a majority that live in poverty. And if we see a bunch of cities that are majority person of color, and we're trying to recognize why have these places stayed at a very stable poverty line. But there are systemic reasons to why these communities are like that. How would you say
I would
that.
say probably because of policies that are in
That's
those cities.
racist policies.
But
Absolutely.
hold on, we gotta define terms. When would you say that Watson Compton became the way that it is? Was it like that in the 40s and 50s?
No, it's a growth
No,
because
I'm
of the
asking
policies,
you,
from
when-
redlining policies that were enabled.
In California?
Yeah, absolutely.
In-
California put in racist policies. I would never deny that.
All of these supposed solutions are.
I love it. I love it. I love it. It's just like, but California is liberal. Yeah.
Hurting.
Okay.
Wouldn't a better solution be to teach our kids that we're all born in the image of God? We should all treat one another equally. And if you're if you don't
Okay,
believe
then
in
all men
God,
should be
then
created
we're all
equal with certain
Because that's not attacking,
equal, right?
addressing.
If you come
But that's not addressing the policies that you said were causing those things in the first place. That's just like attacking on an individual level. That's not going to work. When you have systemic problems, you need to attack things from a systemic level, and you will need to educate people on what those systemic problems are. Come on, it's
from a poor neighborhood, whether you're black or Hispanic or an immigrant from anywhere, obviously you don't have the same privileges that somebody who comes from a wealthy community. But that has
Closing your
nothing to do
eyes
with your
and
color.
acting as though the spider is not on your arm does not solve the problem that you have a spider on your
I don't
arm.
think that if you're an impoverished black kid or you're an impoverished white kid, one should receive a resource and the other.
Fucking good fucking point. Hey, you know, like, you know that, hey guys, what's up? You know that the Republicans freed the slaves.
Other shouldn't.
Would you say that it's economic then is the reason that causes these disparities?
Economic, but I don't think it's
But-
related to color.
But would you say if there's a majority of a particular group
You
that
wouldn't,
lies
bitch.
underneath the poverty line in economic, race has anything to do with that?
It
Is what you're saying?
could, but it's just not blanket. You don't know. And why don't
That's why we study things intersectionally.
we look at the families, the black families?
That's what critical race theory does. It studies how things like class and race interact with each other to cause these systemic issues. My goodness. Like, this is really painful to watch. This is really actually painful. Where the frick am I supposed to be going now? Journal, map. Oh, up there. Oh, all the way over there? Come on. That's annoying. Heck. Pardon me. Mirror brain takes, yeah. This is just such bad takes.
Who have done those amazing things in this country and study what they did to succeed instead of.
Yeah, but the thing is that affirmative action seeks to give more people opportunities to get to that point. More people who wouldn't have those opportunities due to systemic racism.
Just focusing on, oh, well, black people are behind and we don't even know what to do. Well, why don't we just go and look?
That's what, but like, then why, okay, so if you admit that black people are behind and we don't know why those things are in place, which we actually do know, and if you understood anything about critical race theory at all, you would probably like have a grasp of how these things work and interact with each other. Like, what? This conversation wouldn't even happen because you would understand these things. But critical race theory and also Marxist and a Marxist analysis of economics can answer these questions that you have. And you're just standing in the way of answering these questions and calling the very like asking of the questions racist in and of itself. Oh my gosh. Gosh. Oh, who's attacking me now? Oh, you are. Sorry.
Since you are a professor, wouldn't that be, you go and look at what has worked?
Well, I would never just go to you and just look at you. Again, and I'm sorry, it's just the reality of the data. And so what I share...
Data can be broken up in umpteen different ways.
No, it can't.
Yes, it
No,
can.
actually, I just give
You're a
the data.
professor and you're saying
That's
that
why I
data
give
cannot
data.
be manipulated?
I don't
This is
manipulate
why my
data.
kids do
They
it.
don't let him speak, ever.
I'm glad they don't.
I just think it's interesting.
Look at it, like, listen, like, every time that the black professor guy speaks up, all of the women just, like, talk over him completely. Fucking hell. This is like a room of Karens.
I'm thinking of like an anecdotal story I have. Last year, the school that I taught at, Deep East Oakland, I served majority black and brown students.
Are you saying that there's systemic problems within society which makes people like inherently ignore the black man trying to talk about the subject and listening to the I guess brown and less black man talk about his?
Over 70% of our families under the poverty line. These are some of the hardest working people I have ever seen in my life. They get up, they have 2 or 3 jobs, 3 or 4 children.
I would argue
because of their economic status, right?
Because of liberal policies that is the government telling them that they can and cannot succeed, because of how high our property taxes are here, because we do not have school choice where they can take their dollars somewhere else. If you put those same families in redder districts in the country, like places in Florida and Texas or Virginia, where they have better options for their family, you would definitely see them be able to succeed.
And where black and brown children are still underperforming in schools?
What policies? And how would they affect you? What?
Coming from Florida, the school that I was at, it's graded from like A to like D, F. When I started there, it was a C school. Very poor performing. And technically, sure, they have school choice. They don't have state tests anymore. But they're still so badly performing. The community of it, black, brown, very little white students in that community. But not to say that student of color can't be more affluent, but I think it's ridiculous to kind of say.
It's just a fact as well that schools in areas with higher poverty get less funding, which disproportionately affects black people and minorities, because minorities and black people are more likely to be in poverty due to many factors, including racial discrimination within policies and generational trauma. These things are things we know about because of critical race theory and our understanding of the intersection between race and class. Yes, it's complicated. No, you don't have to learn everything about race to be able to have a grasp of these things. You just need to be able to, like, understand that there has been a consensus among experts, which is a much better, which is what the black guy is trying unsuccessfully to say when he says data. He doesn't mean that like data points are what that are the be all and end all. What he's trying to say is that there is a scientific consensus around the data, which means that we understand these things. Experts in their field agree that there is generational trauma, that there is systemic racism. Your personal opinions do not matter. You are not an expert in this field. He is talking about the expert opinion of critical race theory, not the opinions of fucking Tucker Carlson on Fox News. You shouldn't be getting your opinions from someone who doesn't fucking study this stuff. And he is a college professor who understands he probably doesn't go out and do the research himself, but as a college professor and a teacher, he understands how to find the expert consensus on these things. The curriculum is based on expert consensus, or at least it should be, if it's not lobbied continually by like fundamentalist Christian organizations. But like, your opinions do not fucking matter. This is why I don't believe that parents have the real qualifications to teach kids, because they can be dumb like this. And we shouldn't let their kids fall between the cracks because of their dumbass parents.
That color doesn't play a part into disparities and just disadvantages. So in Florida, A lot of people that I had encountered weren't kind to others, and sometimes I would have coworkers call students retarded and using racist slurs and things like that. And from my standpoint, hearing something like that, it disgusted me. My coworkers very quickly were able to kind of distinguish me from the rest. Like, if I was gonna come to the teacher's lounge, more hushed conversation, people wouldn't share as much as they used to just because I would call out behavior like that.
Teachers with guns make schools safer.
You know what? I'm gonna disagree.
So I was really in between. I didn't really know how I felt about this issue.
Teachers with guns make
but then I started
schools. Teachers with guns make schools safer. So first off, like the teachers are trying to groom their kids into being okay with pedophilia. Now they want to give those same teachers guns. Okay, cool, whatever.
Places that had armed their teachers.
Did you look at how much the discrimination against black students like skyrocketed after that had happened?
So I believe that model is good. It has to be voluntary.
Yes.
So the teachers have to want to do it themselves. They have to be well trained.
Yes.
They have to have background checks periodically. That has been successful.
If we're trusting teachers, which in some cases we do, in some cases we don't, but if my mindset is that if we're gonna trust teachers to mold our children's minds and educate them, they're there for 8 hours a day. We should also trust and kind of enable them to protect themselves and our kids physically.
I think by no means should we ever...
You're not trusting the teachers at all to teach your kids. You spoke to the kinds of teachers that were teaching your kids as if they didn't know what they were fucking talking about. Because you have a differing opinion on these things. It's just... These people are so fucking frustrating. And so freaking dumb.
Force a teacher to carry a gun, but if a teacher is willing to take on the responsibility of learning how to handle a weapon properly, I think that we should allow them to do that for us. And
The data doesn't back you up there. You're just making... bringing guns into school doesn't make things better. Just makes people more likely to discriminate against minorities. That's just what happens.
it frankly would be an incredible service to us.
Their expectations on...
All right, so just to break it open, this conversation is so much more nuanced than to arm or not to arm. And if you want to save a school, you need to get parental engagement. Let's look at the mindset of the individuals that are going into these homes with firearms. Those individuals are not mentally okay. There's something wrong happening, whether it's at school, in the house, whether it's, who knows, maybe it's something they're consuming online. And I think that's the parent's job to continue to engage to make sure that child is healthy. A lot of these kids, as well, that are going into schools that are not mentally healthy, they're coming from single-parent households. They're living with their grandparents. There's something intrinsically with their identity that's broken. And I think that whether you arm a school or you don't, it's not going to change it if you don't address the real issue.
I agree with you that people that are, perpetrating these crimes and these mass casualties are messed up individuals. I would absolutely agree. Mass shootings are a uniquely American problem. So if we try to understand what's the root, why does America solely have that problem, I would say it's a gun culture problem. So if the idea is, should we try to remove aspects of gun culture that really pervade in our society, should we do that, or should we just increase the amount of firearms we can have in every single space, just so that way we're properly ready for a gunfight whenever it comes up?
I want to clarify gun culture. Are you saying that there's the shoot 'em up, bang 'em up video games? Are you saying
no? I wouldn't say it's video games. I'd say institutions like the.
If you want to look at institutionalized gun culture, look at the way that cops are trained in the US.
NRA that heavily impose, you need to own not just firearms, but as many firearms as you can. I personally would not like to be armed. I do not want to take lethal action in the classroom, and I want to make it a safe and inclusive environment. Arming teachers is a response measure to particular violence that goes on in our schools here in America. And personally, I think we should focus more towards solutions to prevent these occurrences from happening rather than just implementing responses implying that these actions will occur.
And I'm just going to be honest with you, you don't want me to have a gun because I had to go back to therapy in the last few months. And so I agree with a lot of what you guys are saying, what your plan was. But I would also say mental health. We got to understand some of these school shootings are done because people have snapped.
People have natural biases and things like that, and people could act on those biases. Then they could be guns drawn and...
People have natural biases, and those natural biases are racist. People have natural racist biases. Like, you can see that from people who choose to believe that racism doesn't exist in today's day and age. You can see that from the people who are in this conversation, the conservative parents that are upholding racist ideology. Racist ideas such as colorblindness, racist ideas such as institutionalized racism doesn't exist, and that affirmative action is in some way racist against fucking white kids. Holy shit. No, it's not. Holy shit. Trying to make things equal and accessible and have equality of opportunity is not fucking racist. The racist thing is the status quo. The status quo is what is racist in this situation. And to uphold that is racist, even though you don't think it's racist. Being racist is not always an active decision. Upholding the status quo is upholding a status quo of white supremacy inherently. Because we still have such white supremacist policies in place. If we didn't, then we wouldn't see the disparity between black people and white people. We wouldn't see the generational trauma that exists today. There would be no need for any sort of affirmative action or critical race theory, because there wouldn't be a problem. If these problems didn't exist, we wouldn't be coming up with solutions for them in the first place. We wouldn't need to. We wouldn't have anything to study. You don't understand what these things are, and you're scared, and that's okay. But you need to be able to trust teachers to teach your kids as much as you seem to trust teachers with guns. Which is just... This must be an American thing, because I really... For me, that's a wild thing. That is such a wild thing to be okay with. Teachers with guns, like... America, you just, wow.
Not a clear mind, you know? Like, as a parent, how would you feel knowing that you don't know which teachers have a gun and you've had bad experiences with prior teachers? What if that teacher that absolutely, you know,
so my answer to your question is I feel the same way about the guard in front of my kid's school. I don't really know the guard, but he's gone through training, and I presume that he knows what he's doing. And frankly, I feel the same way about a police officer.
Whoa.
I don't need the police officer, but they've gone through training and they were...
Check this out. What? 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 Is there a mountain here or something? What the hell is going on? What the hell? Check that out. What the fuck? What you fuck? What the hell? That's so weird. There's just like something invisible here. What the hell? Sorry, I just wanted to show you all that for a second. Ah, wrong thing.
We're willing to take on that responsibility. And so I would apply the same logic. It's so interesting that you bring that up, because it really ties back to why I feel like we need to be careful about how much responsibility we're saddling teachers with teaching our kids values, right? On the one hand...
But you're okay with giving teachers guns. Fucking hell.
The system is saying, trust our teachers, they know better than you parents. We should be able to teach them what they need to know about sexuality.
You want prison guards.
You guys are admitting.
You want prison guard fucking daycare. You want a prison daycare for your kids. Holy fuck. You're just really setting your kids up for failure like that. Seriously. America, like...
that many teachers are not really
Hell
checked
yeah,
for
brother.
mental issues. We don't really know what is happening
Hogs out! Hogs out in our schools! Give them guns! Shoot all the kids that disagree!
in these classrooms.
I'm not
We
saying
don't
that
know about
teachers
what
are not
friction.
checked. We very frequently have like professional development
What's that? You don't like algebra? Pew pew, motherfucker!
days where we got self-care. So I wouldn't say many by any means. And when I'm coming into the workplace, I'm not bringing in all my baggage. As to say, you know, you go into your work, you're not like, oh, I'm so depressed, my kid's this,
So
that.
why, if there is a teacher who is willing to step forward and will go through the training and will go through the screening, why not empower them to save?
Because there is a consensus, there's a consensus at the moment amongst the studies which shows that arming teachers and putting security guards in schools does not make schools safer. Holy shit, like, the police officers, the police don't even protect the kids when there's shooters. You have a clown country. Wait, what the? So weird. Your country is run and by clowns, obviously. You're a queen clown.
To save our kids. I mean, in Uvalde, if there was a teacher who could actually save those children.
There were there were teachers that lost their lives trying to save those children. You should get those teachers' names out of your fucking bitch mouth and go fuck yourself with a spanner.
Then maybe we would not have seen so much death.
When we place teachers with a firearm in the classroom, it takes the instance of a violent occurrence from a possibility in the minds of these children to an inevitability.
But the children don't know. It is a concealed and
Yes,
carry
they do.
weapon that has gone through.
No, yes, they do know. Fucking hell, you think your children are fucking dumb? I'm sorry, I'm fuming over that shit. How fucking dare you bring up Uvalde with the children and teachers that fucking died from that. From the failure of the police, from the failure of the security guards, the armed security guards. How fucking dare you? Go fuck yourself with a spanner.
Process of the local sheriff's department, background check, training,
Yeah, no one
checkups,
knows.
everything.
No trans brother, I don't need them groomies next to me when I whip out my manhood.
Does this teacher have the gun on them?
Yes.
You wouldn't
It is
know.
holstered
I
on
was
them?
whamming. I don't need whamming in my bathroom.
Concealed carry. It's illegal
No,
to
I know what a
brandish.
concealed
I
carry
just
is,
want to clarify.
but my thing and why this question sort of enrages me. Why are we asking teachers to carry guns? When did this become an occupational hazard? When did we walk into school and people were like, by the way, you could be shot today, so maybe you want to have your Glock strapped on you because who knows, this might be your last day on earth.
They don't care. They don't care. I'm sorry, honey, but conservatives don't care. They want you to be a prison guard daycare jailer. They want you to be a daycare prison guard. That's all they want. They want you to take your kid to take their kids off their hands for a couple of hours, so they don't have to deal with them. They don't have to deal with the kids while they're at work. And then take them back. And they don't want you to teach them anything that they don't know about first. And they just want you to do impossible things with your time. And fuck these people. These people are ghouls. That bitch in particular. Fuck
It's
you.
ridiculous. If you 50 years ago were to look at a teacher and be like, hey, do you want to hold this gun with you? You know, like you might need it. They're going to scratch their heads and look at you funny. This is opening up a bigger conversation, right? But I think that even though it is voluntary, right, we still need to have this conversation. Like it still needs to happen of why, even if a teacher was willing to carry a gun to school, they are even having to be asked to do that in the first place.
Teachers are not paid enough.
Every day I wake up and I hand to you guys the most precious thing in my entire life, my children. I think that it's important that our society will reflect how much we value you guys. I think that you should
Teachers
receive
are not
bonuses
paid
if you do a
enough.
great job. If you're able to represent all of us as Americans, both conservatives and liberals, and you're able to speak on our behalf and take care of our children, we should reward you for that, and you should feel rewarded for that. And so I don't know exactly what you make, but I think it is really important that we invest in you and we pour into you. And when I see the entire...
What about investing in the schools as well? You know, like the school, how about we put some like investment into the schools so the teachers don't have to sacrifice part of their salary to give your kids like the equipment that they need to like go to school, you know? But yeah, who knows? I don't think that's going to
That the
happen.
state of California, for example, spends on
That would be
education.
that
and I
would be
realize that
communism,
a
brother.
sliver fraction of it only goes to you guys. It breaks my heart, and frankly, it makes me so angry. I don't need more bureaucrats. I need more good teachers.
I left the K through 12 and went to the community college, and I do pretty well. So I'm going to be clear with that. But also I have a
So you're
master's.
not oppressed, thank
So
God.
I have a master's, but I had to work really hard to get where I'm at.
She thought that was a fucking own there. What a fucking bitch. Oh, you're not oppressed. Oh, fuck. These people are fucking awful. And I can't seem to, like, find my way to the friggin' marked location. I'm struggling to get up there. I don't know why there seems to be an issue, but apparently it's impossible to get around this shit. What the fuck? I gotta keep trying. No, how the hell am I supposed to get up there? What in goodness name? All right, well let's go around then.
But I'm also in a doctoral program, and you're right, I'm paying out of pocket too. Again, I had a student the other day saying, I can't pay my electric bill. How much is your electric bill? I'll pay your electric bill. And so I put up students in hotels because they have nowhere to live. I have a student who doesn't have a family. He told me the other day, I need a dad. I said, I'll be your father, because it just broke my heart that a 19-year-old is in this world alone, doesn't have family.
Yeah, I would be scared to like calculate how much I spent for my classroom, right? Like all the materials, all the things that I'm purchasing, all the things that I'm doing. And it's just interesting to think that we are always told, like, teachers are heroes, they're teaching the youth of America, but also, we're not gonna give you enough money to survive comfortably. Like, you're gonna struggle every day. There have been days when I go to work and I'm like, am I gonna have money to put gas in my car? I guess we're gonna find out, right? And I know so many other teachers who are struggling to keep afloat. I can't even imagine I can't even think about having a family as a teacher. I think that growing up, I was not the strongest student. I didn't necessarily see the point in what we were doing. And I think that ultimately that felt like it was because education was something that I had to get through, not necessarily something that I was obtaining. But I think what really pushed me to go into teaching was wanting to give kids a space where they didn't feel the way I feel growing up, where they felt like they had power to make choice in their education, and that their education could be powerful in aiding them to do what they wanted to do.
So I'm not a teacher. I don't know how much you guys make. And I'm not going to use you as the example. I'm going to use a friend of mine. She's been at a school for
Sean is a piece of
a
shit.
number of years. I want to say it's 6, 7, 8 years, and she's become tenured. And through her tenureship, she's accumulated so much wealth. I'm appalled at how much she's making because she teaches Spanish to 6th graders, and she's making over $150,000 a year.
Can I ask you a question? What kind of school does she work at?
Public school?
Interesting.
Yeah. And
I mean, how much experience goes on with that too?
It must, I'm assuming, because you've invested into your career, which I think everybody should. But for me, I look at it as you're making $150,000 in 9 months.
The prompt very clearly was, are teachers paid enough?
Yes.
I'm sorry, wait, in 9 months? He's acting as if school holidays, teachers teachers take holidays during school holidays. Okay.
And I mean, we're not. I've had to work
Oh, hey, buddy.
second jobs
Oh, my
doing
gosh.
DoorDash just because I wasn't making enough. If you look at these shoes, they are ripped, they are broken from a teacher wish list. I could not even buy these shoes myself. You know what I'm saying? I don't make enough money.
So I wanted to clarify, this isn't an absolute. I'm not saying that every teacher is paid enough. I have no idea what your salary is. I have no idea any of those details. I'm just recognizing that if a teacher is getting 9 months and their salary is in 9 months, they get a summer off. Most.
What is it? Wait. No, they don't get a summer off. They prepare their curriculum. You think teachers don't work during that 9 months? Fucking hell. Yeah, I'm gonna call everyone clapped on that story, honestly.
Assuming they have 3 months, I'm an 11-month employee. For 1 whole month out of the year, I'm not paid anything. Nothing. I have to figure out my funds, save money that I don't have to try to supply for a month and a half. I don't get supplementary income. Like, that doesn't happen.
Critical race theory is anti-American.
Motherfuckers don't even know what critical race theory is.
Well, I'll go first. My daughter, same teacher actually, who was asking about her pronouns, she said that she was going to be introducing some race-themed books. My daughter recorded this conversation in class. So what proceeded to happen is she started to talk to the children in their, I guess, identity groups. Oh, as an African-American child, how are you discriminated against? As an Asian child, she went through all of except white people. It became total chaos in the classroom. There was no education going on here. They were just literally going at each other, talking about who was more oppressed. It's not a matter of if something was racist.
Wait,
It's a matter
I'm sorry, but were you in that class? And like, what are you talking about? Your kid seems like they're not really well adjusted to talk about these issues either. Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about?
of when something was racist or how the racist thing happened. So they automatically assume, critical race theorists, that racism is embedded into every single thing. How?
Well, I mean, it's not an assumption that people who look at critical race theory make. It is the question. It is, there's a disparity between this group and this group. Why is there a disparity? That's it. That's it. That's it.
How do you look a child, specifically a black child, in the eye and tell them, I'm sorry for you because of your skin color? There's no hope for you in the greatest country literally for this.
Okay, nobody's saying that. You're saying that. Nobody's saying that. That's just not true. You just don't understand what people are talking about. You're angry at people for telling you have spiders in your hair.
Because black Americans are the most successful black people in the entire world. And then turn around and look at a white child and say, sorry, you're responsible for the atrocities of 200 years ago.
All I have to add to that is that in our home and with our faith, I teach my children that it is awful to make someone feel hopeless or pitied. You're damning them to a future of failure if you are telling them, oh, I pity you and I'm going to do these things for you instead of coming
Oh my gosh, she's turning her kids into fucking sociopaths. Jeez.
alongside them and supporting them and doing something for them.
Don't oh my gosh. You're teaching your kids that poverty is morally based. You're teaching your kids that poverty is because you haven't worked hard. Holy fuck. You are a piece of shit.
That pulls them out of that hopelessness. And I think that those are two of the worst things that we can do as a broader society.
You know what I love about America? My mother immigrated from Morocco. She's a Jewish person. Everywhere around the world, we're known as the Jew. In America, we're known as American. And I think there's something so...
When was this, 2 weeks ago. Okay. It was before Kanye, before Ye. Alright. It was pre-Ye.
Powerful about empowering any community to be American and to succeed based on your own merit. We don't look back into why we can't. We look into why we can. And so when my family taught me since I was a little girl, I can, I learned that I could. And that's why I think this country has empowered me so much. I want to see the same thing for kids of all colors in the United States. But if we're teaching them that there is no hope for them and that people will always look at them in a different way, then how are they going to hear the message of I can? My question for liberal teachers is, do they think that it's the right place for them to impose liberal ideas in classrooms, knowing that they have many students who come from conservative families? And I find that many of the schools have become battlegrounds for those kinds of ideas. And when teachers are bringing those issues to the class,
it's not a battleground. You're just not wanting to keep up to date with what is current and understood as normal.
Classrooms, it's forcing families and conservative kids to have to address these issues. And we believe that they're simply too young to deal with those kinds of complex matters at that age.
Okay, so first of all, I think we need to define what critical race theory is. Critical race theory is a theory that Derek Bell,
All right. How many seconds before they interrupt him?
Kimberly Crenshaw, and a bunch of former Harvard law students came up with, where they theorized that within certain American laws, racism is just embedded. And so I'm sorry for your experience, because you shouldn't have to go through that. Nobody should have to go through that. I don't tell my son you can't do anything. I have told my son you have to work twice as hard. I have to tell my son you're a black man in America. There's certain things you need to do to survive.
I mean, first, I think the idea that we are teaching children critical race theory in schools is ridiculous. As he pointed out, this is a high level, like university level framework. You are not going to walk into like Isabel's elementary school 5th grade classroom and see Isabel telling these people about the legal structures. In my opinion, how I define myself as an American, right? I define myself as someone who is proud of my country, someone who can look at the mistakes that my country has made in the past and the things that are keeping other people oppressed and recognize that these are still existing and that we need to work towards changing that. So I don't see how critical race theory could be anti-American. because that's how I define American. And I think it's very nuanced because people define American in many different ways,
I actually
right?
don't completely disagree with your definition of it. I think that maybe you think it's systemic and I think it's the individual. But I think that even in nuanced
Well, okay, so she's right and you're wrong. You're just wrong then. Okay, cool.
ways, like the example
Glad we
that she
can
gave,
move
I've heard
forward from that.
examples where my nieces have been segregated in the classroom at 4th and 5th grade. And like, well, did this happen to you? Do you have a 2-parent home? Are your grandparents raising you? And like, there's this line of victimhood. And as a woman that has dealt with sexism, I do definitely teach my daughters, like as a girl in this country, it is going to be a different experience than your father had. But I don't think it's beneficial at all to kind of institute that victimhood in their long-term
Yeah, but
mentality.
that's not what's happening. You just agreed that that's not happening.
Because then you actually start to see kids that are like, oh, well, they're different than me, so therefore their life could be better or worse than mine. And instead of engaging with those people, they step away.
I don't believe that there's a victimhood to it. I think it's just kind of amplifying that, hey, this is the truth, this is what happens, and let's move forward with that. Having that knowledge to be able to kind of navigate through life is better than just, oh, well, I assume I'm the same as, my white counterpart. Oh, why is she able to do this? Why does she have this opportunity that I don't have?
But they are the same.
But she has that
They
opportunity.
are the same, is what we're saying.
I think what the difference is, we're stating normative statements, and you guys are claiming that we're presenting prescriptive claims. So the normative statement that we're presenting is, these events happen in American history. These are the outcomes that have led from those events. What you guys are saying is, we're then adding prescriptive statements, which is, that's why you should never really try, because you'll never make it in this country.
That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that if you negatively press a child with these thoughts, that will be the outcome, because that's how human beings work. This is a psychological fact.
Prove it. Okay, if you believe that, then prove it with data and studies. Otherwise, that's just your opinion, man.
Is the government's job.
I believe it is the government's job. Look, our funding comes through government. I mean, our schools are government entities. So it is. Policies are government. Everything's government. I mean, if you're in public education, you're in government. We're bureaucrats. That's literally our job. So it is government's job. So yeah, I believe it is. I believe it is the job of the government, because schools are government. That's literally what they are. They're government institutions.
Yes, I completely agree. Government provides a certain quality to education. Obviously, they haven't provided those funds, they haven't provided those policies that are pro-teacher or anything like that. So it really shows in our education, in kids, and all around. We're just not at the quality that other countries are at.
I was going back and forth because what a government is, oftentimes is characterized as like this entity of like a group of people up there deciding what goes on. Where no, like government is just collective organization. Does the government have a role in education? Absolutely. I think that parents have to play a role as well, and not only being involved with.
Yeah, like it depends on how you're looking at government, really. Like if you're looking at government in the way that I look at it, which sounds very similar to how this guy's looking at it. Like government is us coming together as a community to come up with a way to run society. That is what government is. But most people look at government and they see the other, the ones in power. They don't see people working together, and that's fair, because in current day society, what we have is a system where people with a lot of money get to make decisions about a small amount of people with money get to make decisions for the majority of people. That's what people generally see. So. But yeah, hold on. Got him. I think someone ran away.
What their kid is learning in school, but also, reinforcing strong educational skills. And that doesn't happen unless there is parent involvement. I know the kids that are being worked on at home versus the kids that aren't. And it plays out in test scores, it plays out in their engagement in class, and it plays out in their behavior.
You have to remember that we're a representative government, that it's based on the people, right? And so these public school systems are waiting for...
No, it's not a representative government. What? You don't even know what kind of government you have. What? Oh, sorry, representative government. Sorry. I was thinking direct democracy. Yeah, you do have some form of a representative government, but it's kind of like arguable as to how that kind of works.
for the parents to come in and say, this curriculum is not what I want to teach my kids. We, the taxpayers, control the curriculum. But the problem is we haven't been engaging in that system because we've been so distracted and pulled away from the education from our kids.
No, I would agree. Communities
there's a
need
lot
to absolutely
more
be more
to it.
involved in their school boards and what's going on in education. And unfortunately, we don't have that. And oftentimes, a lot of politicians, albeit Republicans that are trying to cut a lot of social programs and a lot of social investment, as well as corporate Democrats who want to cut a lot of social investment, both of those, we see areas of corruption within our education system.
Well, and let's be clear on what we're talking about government is. So when we talk about on a local level, it is government. That's literally what government is. When your kid goes into the school, they're going into a government institution. So I think when we're not talking about parents not being involved. I want you involved. Heck, please be involved. So I think our issue, when we were talking about government, we weren't talking about excluding parents. We were talking about it is government's job to make this entity, which is public education, function. It has to. If government's not involved, you have...
Well, yeah, like there is a governmentary body within school organizations that decides on curriculum. There are different levels of government. Like when you govern something, so like a school board is a government in a sense as well. So don't forget about that.
No money.
So you guys teach in government schools, public schools. Essentially, you're teaching a diverse student body.
See, like it's very interesting. Like you see the teachers talking about things in this sense immediately. Back to the conservatives talking about the government as in the American government, rather than looking at the nuanced way that government works. Yeah, cool.
You have conservatives, you have liberals. How can you better represent us, half of this country? It's sadly causing us to lose faith in...
What do you mean, half of our country? Represent us? Who are you talking about, us? The majority of people don't really have your kind of, like, really, really, like, fundamentalist views. I'm sorry to say, but, like, you don't... Yeah, you aren't representative of 50% of the population. In fact, like, what is it? What are we looking at? Church of Religion USA. 49% of the Americans are Protestants, 23% Catholics, 1.8% Mormons. So yeah, actually, yeah, you are looking at the majority of the United States, which is religious, Christian. So yeah, maybe I'm wrong there, but to claim that your homophobic views are somehow in line with that majority is not really factual when you see the majority of people in America do support homosexual rights and gay rights and all of that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's important just to understand the nuance of that.
We want to support you guys. We want to send our kids to your schools and your classrooms.
And I think that when we talk about all these differences, how do we sort of represent both of these sides, right? How do we bring these people together? I think it's also really important to remember that historically this curriculum is one-sided.
That's easy. That's easy. Let me tell you now. Don't get butthurt when people try to teach your kid grammar. Don't get butthurt when teachers talk facts with kids. Don't get butthurt when, like, your kids learn how to make sure that their butt doesn't get hurt during sex. Problem solved. Yeah. And stop teaching your kids that that homosexuality is a sin.
In favor of conservative views, in favor of supporting white students, not students of color, right? And so I think that we really, as a country, need to take a look at our education system. I think we can all agree that there needs to be a lot of change in the system, right? And look at how we can build a system that represents, reflects, validates the experiences and identities of everybody.
Beautiful. That was good, girl.
Yeah. Yeah, that was just fucking depressing. Just goes to show how little respect I have for conservative parents and their ability to raise kids. Honestly. Sorry, Happy Puritan, but yeah, in this case, like, conservative parents really just don't know how to teach kids how to be good people. As long as conservatives are advocating for teaching their kids that homosexuality is a sin and other incorrect nonsense like that, I'm going to have to say that they shouldn't be allowed to have a say over the way that schools are run. As long as conservatives, yeah, I'm going to head off soon as well. Actually, right now is as good a time as any. So until next time, take care of yourself. Take care of yourself and take care of someone else. And I'll be back again tomorrow. Hopefully I won't be banned. Bye-bye!